GhanaTalks Radio, the best station rocking the nation. Radio, number one.
Good morning, Ghana. Good morning, lovely listeners of Ghana Talks Radio. You are welcome to the Ghana Talks Breakfast Show. It's a beautiful, brand new day, and we are here to bring you the latest headlines making waves in the news, from business to politics, from sports to entertainment, and everything in between. We got you covered with the most relevant stories. As usual, I remain your host, Esnamfi Agbedu, and joining me today for a news headline review, as usual, my beautiful panelists, Miss Regina Bless and Miss Debbie Adorso. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
How are we doing?
We are great. Fine. I'm great.
With a smile and then the excitement. What is the story behind that? Do you mind sharing? Because I see you guys are very excited this morning. Is it because it's midweek?
No. I was born today.
Oh, nice.
You
I see
were born
that.
Today. Yeah.
Oh, how did the day go for you yesterday?
Oh, yesterday was stressful. Was very stressful, but as it stands, it's part of our daily routine, our day in and day out. So we have no option.
Our audience.
Yeah.
Sure. Very good. All right, let's dive straight into our news headline for today. 2025 budget, e-levy, betting tax, and others to be abolished. Finance Minister. The Finance Minister, Dr. Castle Atuforsen, has announced that the government will be abolishing the electronic transaction levy, also known as e-levy, and the 10% tax on lottery winnings, also known as betting tax. The minister announced this when he presented the government's first budget statement to Parliament on Tuesday, March 11th. The minister also announced the cancellation of other levies, including the emission tax. He also announced that in an attempt to review the value-added tax system, the government will also eventually abolish the COVID-19 levy. The minister, however, did not specify how soon or when these cancellations will take effect. So, Finance Minister Dr. Castle Atuforsen has announced the abolition of several taxes, which include the e-levy, the betting tax, and then the 10% tax on lottery winnings. That is the betting tax, also known as investments. Well, let's dive into it. Let's break it down. He said the controversial electronic transaction levy will no longer apply. It is abolished. The other levies cancellation, which is additional tax removals, which include the emission tax, will be abolished. Now, the government is yet to review and eventually cancel the COVID-19 levy as part of the VAT system reforms. Now, here is my question. The minister did not specify when these tax cancellation would take effect. You have come to read the budget to us.
Yeah.
You said, Mr. Speaker, e-levy will be abolished. Mr. Speaker, the 10% tax on lottery winning, which is the betting lottery, will be abolished. But here lies the case, they didn't specify to us when these taxes will be removed or when it will be cancelled. What do you make of it? The whole removal of the taxes, is it a relief to the government, to the Ghanaian as a whole?
First of all, I would like to start with our expectation. Okay, let me say my expectation was met yesterday because listening to the budget yesterday, all my focus was on the e-levy, the betting tax, and the emission tax. And fortunately and good enough, the finance minister made mention of that, and everyone was happy. Yesterday, even in the vehicle when I was going home, people were talking about the budget. They were happy, and they were actually saying that when the e-levy came, it really disrupted their work because you work for a very long time and then you get your pay. You want to transfer the pay to a loved one, and then they have to deduct such a huge sum of money. So people were actually happy, and then the investors as well was also happy. So this e-levy thing has actually brought a relief to Ghanaians. This is what they said, and they have done it. But the question you asked, that he didn't really specify when. You see, he has come to the he has presented the budget to Parliament, so they will now bring it on board to be approved. Because even before the e-levy, when the former finance minister brought it on board, when he read the budget, it was like they will introduce something called e-levy, which will generate more fund for the country. After that, they set a date, and then they debated on it, and then they approved it. So the finance minister said the e-levy would be abolished. The emission would be. He didn't. Not yet been implemented. Yes, he didn't say we have abolished it. We will abolish the e-levy tax. We will abolish the emission tax, which means that after he has read the budget, they will still come back to Parliament to approve or not. And we all know, because we have majority in Parliament and we have minority in Parliament, so we are just hoping that the D-Day, which they'll be debating on the taxes they promised to abolish, I mean, it will happen that as we hope and as we are happy that they've made it known, just as they promised, they are going to abolish it. And when they approve it, when the majority approved that the e-levy should be abolished and then the betting tax should be abolished, then that's fine now. That from there it will take effect. But for now, they said they will abolish it. So till they debate and approve it, we are still paying levy. Yeah.
Well, let me hear from you, Miss Regina.
Hey, this is wonderful. Okay, so I'll start when the e-levy and the betting tax was introduced. I'll say that no one was in support of this e-levy. No one was in support of the 10% tax. And as my colleague said yesterday, even I was saying that they said we will abolish,
meaning it hasn't been
it hasn't been implemented. And I was like, this is what everyone was expecting. We were just expecting you to just come and say this and this and this has been abolished. It is totally scrapped. But rather you came to Parliament to say that we will abolish it. Now, in Mohammed's manifesto, he himself said that he would make sure that all these are abolished.
Yeah.
Waka atoyasum. One question almost everyone is asking is, now that you are saying you would abolish it, what if you don't adhere to that? If you don't adhere to that, what then should we do to you? Because that is the expectations. That is what everyone is expecting. the 10% there, the 10% tax too. Some people are happy about it, others are also not happy about it. And I remember, if I'm not mistaken, the former finance minister, Amin Adam, he said that the 10% tax, the 10% tax on the betting wasn't implemented. So that money, where is it? But when I asked the investors also, they said it has been implemented. They take it.
Yeah, on reports yesterday when we spoke to some of the investors.
Even our producer investor, he says they take it. Now, people are also saying, if they get to lose this 10% tax, they don't get any. But once they win, they take this 10% tax, which to them doesn't make sense. So, I feel that they are talking too much. As she said, they would now bring it to Parliament and debate about it. What if they debate about it and the minority or most of them are not in support? Does it mean it will still hold? That is a question we should ask ourselves.
Yep, I want to add something. You know, as it stands now, the NDC carries the majority in Parliament. So we don't want a situation where, when a day is set for all those tasks to be approved in Parliament, 90 or 50% wouldn't be in Parliament. When it happens like that, it will delay the approval of all these things that he said, and it might even come that we wouldn't be able to scrap it as they plan to, because if the majority is not up to the number that they are supposed to have for them to abolish all those taxes, and then the minority that they are small but they've all come in their numbers, then there is no way like those kind of taxes will be abolished.
But do you think that abolishing these taxes is a relief to the Ghanaian?
Yes, it is a relief. Like, because if they send me money, I remember those time school fees, we used to pay the school fees through our banks. Then they got a notice. I think there was some problem somewhere, so they created this mobile money app that you are supposed to send your fees to, so that it will relieve the pain, the struggles for the student. So I remember those time my dad do send me the money through Momo. But it got to a time he said he won't do that kind of work again, because the kind of tax they take from, so if he's sending me for is it 40,000 4,000 as my fees, just imagine the kind of tax they are taking for that 4,000
tax to take your transportation and bring that money to you.
So he was telling me he wouldn't do that kind of work again because of the tax they are taking out of the 4,000 he's giving me as my fees, and that's the e-levy. And all this while that they've been taking the e-levy, they made us know that the kind of money they've budgeted to get, they didn't get, but at least they got something. So what was that money used for? But in short, it's really people are happy. I'm not just sitting here and saying, like, just saying because I am happy. No, people are happy. Yesterday in the vehicle I said it, people were talking about the budget. Everyone was talking about it, especially they didn't even pay attention to what he said. The e-levy and the betting tax was what people paid attention.
Main priority for Ghanaians.
Because aside the betting tax and the e-levy, when you ask anything concerning the budget, they don't know.
They don't know.
And you can.
I think what they wanted to listen to, or what they wanted to hear, was the government saying that they have abolished the e-levy and then the betting tax.
And it is not abolished. We should have that in mind. As you said, people were happy. I wanted to say we shouldn't expect too much, because a twist can just happen in just a second, and they will come out to give us a detailed information as to why they can't abolish these things. So we should wait until they come to formally tell us that all these things has been abolished, because when it is abolished, trust me, it is a relief to us Ghanaians, especially in the financial aspect of it. It is a relief. So we should take our time and not expect too much until then.
So according to the budget that was read yesterday, were there any new taxes being implemented?
The only tax that was added was the on small scale mining. Yeah. And
what do you think about that?
Okay, go ahead.
Like seriously, I was very happy. You know, mining has been like we've taken money to a different level in this country. And even though the small scale mining is legally accepted in the country, but then I feel like some people also use this small scale mining as a yardstick to mine illegally, and it has destroyed our forest reserves, our water bodies. And we've seen videos where some of these residents come to complain that they give birth, and then sometimes they give birth, the child has an eye deformed. They give birth to deformed babies, like problem with the lungs, the kidneys and stuff. So putting increasing a tax or adding tax, right?
Yeah.
Implementing a new tax on that is very good, because it will make it not so easy for everyone at all. Because it looks like they've not implemented so much tax on that. So people find, like I said, the commonest job you can get yourself into has to do with the mining sector, and everybody is doing that. Even youth, children are even yes,
children that are supposed to be
exactly. So now that they've done that, trust me, it can also be a means of curbing this illegal mining as well, because since it has become so expensive and no one can access it, then illegal money can also be minimized.
Yeah, people kept bashing the government. How are they going to make money if they are taking these taxes, if they are abolishing these taxes? Here lies the case. The finance minister stated in the reading of the budget that they will be introducing the toll booths again. And speaking to some people yesterday, they were like, the toll booths is going to create employment for people as well. People will be employed to take this money on the road at toll booths, and then traders and sellers will also get to sell as well, because when they get to the toll booth, people get to sell water. So with this one, I think it's a big relief for Ghanaians, and we are so excited about it. Moving on to our next headline: Minority slums NDC's 2025 budget. Amin Adam labels promised jobs as Sakawa jobs. The minority in parliament has strongly criticized the NDC government 2025 budget, particularly the job creation promises, which has labeled as Sakawa jobs, implying that these positions are unrealistic or fraudulent. Speaking to the media after Finance Minister Dr. Castle Atuforsen delivered the budget on Tuesday, 11th March, the minority expressed their dissatisfaction with several aspects of the budget. They were especially concerned about the government's promises of job creation. The minority also took issue with what they saw as contradictory statements from the finance minister. While Dr. Forsen was appealing to investors to come to Ghana, he simultaneously acknowledged that the country's economy is in a poor state. The minority argued that such mixed messages could deter potential investors, with one member questioning, is he driving away investor? This is not how to govern a country. So minority in parliament has strongly criticized the 2025 budget presented by Finance Minister Dr. Castle Atuforsen, particularly the job creation promises made by the NDC government. Are the job really Sakawa? Are they fraudulent? Do you see them to be fraudulent? Are they genuine enough?
The budget,
the job creation initiative they brought up.
No, it's not Sakawa. How can it be Sakawa?
That is what minority is saying.
You see, the minority now has less power in parliament. So the only way to make themselves relevant is to retaliate to anything that the majority will have to say in parliament, whether it's good, whether it will benefit the Ghanaians or not. The only way to make themselves relevant is to retaliate and say something. So you can even notice that from the beginning, when this new parliament came up, you could see that the minority were everywhere, like every second, especially their leader, Afenyo Makin, everywhere on social media, like trying to bash the majority and stuff. But what the budget is saying about job creation It's nothing but they are calling that Sakawa. Is it the budget they are referring to Sakawa or the job creation initiative?
They said they are deceptive and unrealistic.
So they are deceptive and unrealistic, right? What of theirs that they've also brought on board, and we didn't see it happening, and then they themselves came to tell us that they've created 2.8 million jobs. So that one too is what?
But before that, what are some of the job initiatives they brought?
The MPP government. The job initiative.
Yeah. What are some of the job
digitalization?
No,
I'm talking about
for the NDC. Yeah, the NDC government.
The 24-hour economy.
I think they said they are pumping more money into the agriculture sector, the nkoko stuff, so that it creates more jobs for people.
Yeah. Good.
So you're calling this one Sakawa?
That is what he says. But so I don't know if now farming is a Sakawa.
Farming, like there is a lot of money in farming, agriculture. See, we undermine agriculture in this country. Yeah. If someone comes to tell me that I'm into the agri sector, we see the person as if a lazy person. It's like you don't know your aim or you don't know what you're up to in life. But it isn't like the agriculture. If you should get one plot of land, ginger, there is a lot of money in ginger. They have a name they call it when you plant a row. One row of ginger can even fetch you money in millions. Yeah, let me put it that way. So there is money in farming, not only in ginger, but everything that has to do with agriculture. So investing into that will help, and it will even make this youth have this idea that it's not only about coming to office to sit down. It's not only about like going to school and then pursuing this kind of office works.
It's not always about the formal.
Yes,
sometimes we should give attention to the informal sector as well.
And people, if I guess what I'll do, I'll venture into agriculture.
I can't wait to become a farmer. That's a big flex, you know.
You will never go hungry. That's one advantage too. You will never go hungry. How can I be farming? And then I'll still come and ask you for money for food. No. I have food. Even just imagine you having a small garden at your backyard. When the consumer comes, you go to fetch it. When the tomatoes are ripe, you go to get it. So it helps. So they're investing into the agric business. It's also an initiative that will help, and it also boosts the energy of those in those sector, and it also serves as a motivation to them. So I don't see it to be Sakawa, whatever the term.
Let me get as.
Okay, so I feel the only reason they are saying is fraudulent or Sakawa is because they didn't really touch on that during the budget reading. Did they really touch on that?
Yeah, I think they did.
They did. They allocated money, some money to that sector.
But with the job creation, that is what I'm talking about. And even if they did and didn't 100% really touch on that, they said they would bring the 24-hour economy initiative to Parliament for them to debate on. So I don't know why he's saying that it's a fraudulent activity, it's a Sakawa. Does he even understand the word Sakawa? So
you don't agree with him. So with regards to do you think it was wrong for Atiforsen to say that the country is sick, in as much as he's given investors the confidence to come and invest in businesses in Ghana?
How do you expect investors to come and invest in your country when you are not being open to them? You have to be open to them. You have to be transparent to them. They have to know what they are getting themselves in. Mind you, anyone who has that business mindset, who is business orientated, is not limited to the setback of a country. If only that business proposal you are proposing is relevant, it has a future. You know, business is all about taking risk, and there's no businessman who is who is in for quick action, who is in for quick results at that moment. Business takes time. So if you are saying that they are rather sucking investors out of the country. To me, it doesn't make sense, because there is no way I want to invest in your perfume business and you lie to me that you have this money down, you have a shop here, you have a shop here, whereas you don't have any of that. You have to be transparent. This is what I am going through, and together we can make something huge out of it. So investors need to know the current state of the country, even though it is scary. But those who would invest would invest. Those who wouldn't invest wouldn't invest. You shouldn't expect all investors' hands to be in your country, or all investors to be interested in your country. There are certain people who wouldn't take sides. So with that, what he's saying there, it's a no-no.
Miss Debbie.
And even with that, who made the country a sick country? They came into power, they left, and then we have a current government now.
Yeah.
So you came and you left. What you left behind is what they are milking on to increase it or adapt to what you already have. So if you are saying that the country is a sick country, and that no, they shouldn't tell investors the current state of the country, especially when it has to do with our economy. It's very bad, just as she said. I mean, if I'm coming to invest in your company or the business you do, I'm supposed to know what you have already. I mean, how the business is even going, the capital maybe you started with the business, and everything that has to do with the business, even the problems you are going through, I'm supposed to know, so that I would now decide if I will invest with you or not. But if you want to lie to the person, so just imagine you lying to an investor, and then the investor comes and they realize that what you told him or her, even the perception alone concerning this country will be in a doom. So if you tell the person the real truth, and maybe the person take the bold steps and he's making it, he will also prompt his colleagues, investors. Even though the country, we know how it is now, but he can actually convince them to also come and invest here. But when you lie to them, and then they come and then they realize that what you are saying is nowhere, not even 10% near what you told them. Even me, when I go, I'll tell, even if people want to invest here, I'll tell them that no, they don't tell the truth. And it's not nice as a business dealer. When you are into business, you have to tell the truth. You have to be transparent as well. You let them know what is on the ground before coming.
Okay. So I saw a comment by Afenyo Markin saying that the 2025 budget lacks hope. It's hopeless and baseless. Do you think it does? Do you agree with him?
How is it hopeless? How is it hopeless? I don't really understand.
So he's saying that we are saying the government is saying that the economy is in crisis, and per the budget they read, he says that it doesn't show any policy that we are recovering.
You know the reason why I asked why doesn't it make sense, or why is it hopeless? Because when they were in parliament, or when they were in power, what initiatives did they put in place to make sure that our economy is stabilized, or our path was leading to economic recovery? He's saying this in regards to the abolishment. They want to abolish the e-levy tax, the 10% tax, and other taxes. That is the only reason why he's saying that it is hopeless. And also, according to him, they've not really made any tangible initiative that would boost the economy, but rather, per his statement, the economy is rather going down, depreciating, or whatever.
Simply because they feel as if, simply because they think removing the betting tax and then the e-levy, which they claim
is bringing
more money. They feel that they can't do it without these levies or these taxes. So he's arguing that it's a very weak strategy that they are using to revive the economy.
forgetting that there are these same people who initiated the e-levy and the 10% tax, and the e-levy was supposed to generate millions of cedis and help with our economy and also help in job creation. And also with the 10% tax, the rule is the same, but just yesterday the former finance minister said that the 10% tax was not implemented. For that, Afinyo Makinde didn't here to talk about it. And just this morning, it's a reverend, he's a reverend, but I've forgotten his name. He said that the MPP or the the NDC or the 2025 budgets they presented is, should I say, it's a lie, because all the taxes they've scrapped on, they want to scrap on this is those taxes that they've sent to the small scale miners. They are saying that even if it's 20 billion or 20 million they are receiving from the e-levy, because Ghanaians are crying that all these things should be scrapped, fine, they've scrapped it, but Sansikani Inano, it's been pumped, not being pumped as in, but they will get that money from the small scale miners. And he's saying that with that it's wrong. And I was like, fine, even if it's wrong, let's look at the positive aspect of that budget, that tax increments they've put in on the small scale miners. As she said, it would deter others from involving themselves in galamsey, and it would also help combat that. Let's also think of the negative aspects. We all have the perception that how should I say it, this government officials, some top officials are behind this galamsey. How do you think that these people will still help these people pay the tax? The tax they've implemented. So the budget to me is not hopeless. It has a future, but it will take time for that future or for that vision to be implemented. It is not just a 1, 2, 3, 120 days something, 100 days something, or 1 year something. It will really take a longer period of time. So the budget is not hopeless. It is not baseless. It is not. It doesn't make sense to them. Please, it makes sense to us, and especially to we the youth and also to the investors. It makes sense to us.
So, Ms. Teddy, I want to ask if you think there was one particular thing that you were looking out for to be read in the budget that wasn't captured. It met your expectations.
Everything I was
The
expecting.
budget is giving you hope.
Yes.
It's giving green flag.
Exactly.
It's giving green flag.
The budget
is giving green flag.
What I was expecting yesterday, they said all. Everything. They didn't leave behind
job
a
creation to them, structuring debt, how they are going to pay the debt, and then how people are going to get jobs.
Yeah.
Abolishing the levies.
Yeah.
They said it. We are waiting for it to be implemented.
Yeah. So they said all that, and as I said, whatever I was expecting yesterday, they said it, even till the extent that some of the debts they've encountered, they mention it, and the money they have allocated to solve all those problems, and a whole lot, and it met my expectations. You see, this budget is not hopeless, it's inspirational to me. It's very inspirational, because looking at the budget the finance minister brought out, you could see that if those words that he said or those initiatives they put out would be implemented, believe me, Ghana will work again. It will work again. But if they should just read it like how we know them to be, like read, and they do not walk their talk, then we will still be marking time as a country. So you coming to tell me that the budget is hopeless? What shows it is hopeless is, I'm not trying to be political or being biased, but is this budget not even better than those budget that they've been bringing and naming it Sikapa budget, whatever budget, naming it with big names, and at the end of the day, the monies are, driven into one person's pockets. So this budget, I would say, is very tender. It's just like you giving birth to a 1-year-old baby. So the budget is very tender. They've read what they've planned to do in the country, what they've sit down to thought will bring relief to Ghanaians, what will actually stabilize the economy. And so they've said it. What we want to hear, they've said it, but we have to give them time as well, because they've said it and they will now put it into action, into progress. So when you sit down at this tender age and you tell me that the budget is hopeless, then what are you trying to say? Because they've just brought it out and they are now going to work on it to ensure that what they've said and written in the budget will be fulfilled. So it is after when it is not fulfilled, you can tell me that what they come to, like they came out to read or put out to the public, is very hopeless, because at the end of the day you said it and you didn't do it. But till what they've said is fulfilled and then put it into action, I cannot just sit here and say that it's hopeless. But what I've seen yesterday and what I've heard, the budget is inspirational. Yeah. And Ghana will still work again if we should go by that.
The budget is inspirational. Moving on to our last headline for today. Betting tax. Who is keeping the 10% deducted from bettors' winnings? Former Finance Minister Dr. Mohammed Amin Adam seems to have stirred the difficult situation with a comment he made in reaction to his successor's announcement of the government's decision to abolish betting tax. During his presentation of the 2025 budget statement and economic policy on March 11, Dr. Atuforsen announced that the government will abolish betting tax. Mr. Speaker, we will abolish the 10% withholding tax on winnings from lottery, otherwise known as betting tax. However, addressing journalists in Parliament shortly after the presentation of the 2025 budget, the MP, which is the Karaga MP, accused the government of deceiving Ghanaians by committing to abolishing the betting tax. He claimed that the NPP administration never implemented the betting tax, so Ghanaians should not rejoice over the announcement to remove it, as it never existed. Hey, they said the betting tax never existed, though. They never implemented it. So if they never implemented it, where was the 10% going to? Where was that money going to? So former finance minister, which is Dr. Amin Adam, is reacting to the announcement and claimed that the NPP government never fully implemented the betting tax, questioning why its removal is being celebrated. Was it implemented and then we didn't hear about it?
How can a tax that is not implemented is being deducted? You said you didn't implement a betting tax, but anytime I go to stake a bet and then I win, maybe God permits me, and then maybe that day there is a good luck and then I win, say 1,000 cedis. And then you deduct. So are you trying to tell me there is a betting company that deducts the money? Investor, please, I want to ask, when you stake the what's the name, the bet, and then you win, when they didn't implement those kind of tax, do they deduct money from it from you people? When you stake a bet and then you win, those time when they didn't implement this kind of 10%, do they deduct something, maybe a token? No. Okay, fine. They don't deduct. And you are saying you didn't implement it. And then anytime I win, there is a deduction from. So is it a ghost that has been, taking the money away from what I've gotten? You see,
and this happened during their government.
Yes.
For them to come out to say that they never implemented. If it was never implemented, then why was action taken towards this money? Why were these taxes being deducted from those winning the lottery? That is what I don't understand. Like, I can't just wrap my head around it.
Even if they said it wasn't implemented, why was the former the former vice president, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, stated in his manifesto that when he wins power, he's going to scrap the betting tax? So then who implemented it?
Or was it enforced, or it was just announced? without implementation?
I feel like, you see,
Maybe they just announced it, but they didn't go to parliament to go.
No,
and
you
debate on
you,
it.
you
And
didn't tell me if you don't
just
implement
announce
it.
something, there's no way it would be implemented.
So you think they went to parliament to debate on it, and then they agreed that yes, we should do this for them?
Well,
Let's
I
deduct
didn't
the tax.
hear anything like that, but you didn't implement it. That's fine. So how come
The
when I win,
10%.
the 10% is going?
Mhm.
So-
And where is that money going to?
Exactly.
Into whose pocket?
Exactly. Where is the money? Is it the like we are not getting
Like NCC, so
we are not getting the understanding of the whole
the head
scenario.
of the whole
No.
issue.
So you see, I feel like they just want to find a way to cover themselves up. But where it has gotten to, they are still standing at the same place, because you cannot tell me you didn't implement 10% betting tax, and then all of a sudden when I win they are deducting. Like the e-levy, for that one we know, because when I send money or you send money to me and a deduct, I know it's e-levy. Then at the end of the day, you come to tell me that you didn't implement e-levy, but we were all here when you went to parliament. You implement it and you even pump champagne on top, ate cake on top.
Oh,
And you're telling me how will you feel if they come to tell you that we didn't implement e-levy, but you did it and we saw it?
celebration over tax.
So you see, I feel like they see us to be kids. They thought we are not intellectual enough. Like, we still have this outdated mindset where they can just come out and they say things and then we will say yes sir, whether it's wrong or bad, yes sir. But you see, they cannot fool us again. They cannot.
Miss Regina, they said they are not taking. They said they've not implemented it, but they are taking the money from the investors.
I don't want to say this shows the kind of government we experienced. A government who is not considerate, a government who do not have the people's interest at heart, a government who is selfish. I don't want to say that, but I've said it. Because when Miss Debbie was saying, she said, okay, even if it was not implemented, I didn't want her to use that word, because even if it was not implemented, if something is implemented, it means it is taking course, it is going on, it is something which is now part of us. As they are all asking, we will all ask the same question. So where is the money? These people, at first, when they win, if it's 1,000 cedis, they get their 1,000 cedis intact, no deduction. You came out to say that 10% would be putting on taxes, will be putting on bets. Now, if they get their winnings, 1,000 cedis, 500 cedis, just say if 10% say 100 cedis, who did 100 cedis? Just say we just no. Hey,
I can't take Ghana.
that bill.
10%.
10% they're saying, and then
10% of the money you win.
oh, okay.
So if you win
If it-
1,000,
They will take 100
cedis.
cedis. If it's 100
If you
cedis, they will
win-
take 10 cedis, right?
They'll take 10 cedis. And these people are involved in this betting simply because there are no jobs. Speaking to some people yesterday, they are saying there are no jobs. So if there are no jobs and this is what I have to do to feed myself, and you are taking another tax out of it, then what do you want me to do? Then our security is at stake. People, why won't people steal? So if the tax they are saying was never implemented as claimed, then what happened to the deductions on the winnings?
They should
Who
bring back
collected-
that money.
Who collected those monies? Who collected? These are the concern of the investors. Please, we need some kind of clarity. If you are saying you never implemented, then why did you deduct it? Where was those money going to?
And even as she said, if it's not implemented, if it's not something going on, why did Baumia say when he comes he would take it off?
Wow, that will be a question for the ghost to answer. This is where we draw the curtains for our news headline review. Stay tuned. Up next, we have Debbie's Grill.
Thank you for joining me today again on The Biz Grill, where we delve deep into pressing issues of the state. My name is Deborah Adoso. The much anticipated budget was read yesterday, and sincerely speaking, immediately you hear a cockcrow, it's all things budget, like the budget, everything that has to do with the budget. And yesterday, a lot was said in the budget presented by the finance minister, Mr. Kaza Ato Forsen. And he said a lot, but I would like to focus on the e-levy, the emission tax, and some taxes on vehicle and others. And so the promise, they are going to scrap the e-levy, the emission tax, and other taxes. And that was also repeated in the budget, where he said that they would abolish the e-levy, they would abolish the betting tax, the emission tax, and other taxes. Now, in retaliation to that, the former finance minister, Mohammed Amin Adam, has refuted claims of the MPP administration implementing the controversial betting tax. Now, according to him, the tax was never enforced. His comments comes years after the finance minister, came to present the budget to Parliament yesterday, where he says that they are going to abolish the e-levy, the bet tax, and the emission tax. So I kept asking myself, they said they didn't implement the betting tax, but we were told that there was a tax on betting, and it was even reflecting when you take a bet and then you win, then they take 10% out of that. Now, on 6th November 2023, the Ghana's gaming industry has experienced a significant growth, including casinos, sport betting, and other games of chance. And the government aims to introduce new taxes to boost internal revenue mobilization. So in 6 November 2023, the Ghana Revenue Authority, to the gaming or the gaming industry in Ghana, made it known that they are going to tax the betting sector or the gaming industry to deduct 10% each from the stake. Whether you win 1,000 or 2,000 cedis, they are going to deduct that from your money. And who was in power in 2023? The previous government, right? And if the previous government was in power in 2023, it means all the sectors in the country works under who? They works under the previous government. So are they trying to tell us that they brought this initiative and they have no idea about it? They have no idea about them taxing the betting, or the gaming industry, because this was implemented on 6th November 2023. So the betting tax here was implemented by the New Patriotic Party government. And on 6th November 2023, but today, or yesterday, there's been a twist where they refuted claims that they didn't, put a tax or implemented a tax on the betting or on the gaming industry that has to do with the betting or anything that involves or evolves around that. So now that they are refuting the claims, and here is also a proof that in 2023 on 6th November, it was made clear that they are going to tax, or there's going to be a tax on bets. What are they trying to tell us? Are they trying to lie to us? Are they hiding something from us? So the money they've been deducted, where is the money going to? What has the money been used for? And are we being lied to? Because we were told that they are going to tax a bet, and they've implemented a tax actually, because you can't tell me that you didn't implement a tax and then at the end of the day when I go to stake a bet and then I win, you deduct money from what I've gotten. I mean, even a small kid wouldn't understand this. So as I said earlier on, are they thinking that we are kids or we are children, that we do not understand what we are up to or what we are saying? So if truly the tax on betting or the gaming industry wasn't implemented, all this while the monies that have been deducted, where is the money? Into whose pocket is the money? What has the money been used for? That is the question everyone is asking. You didn't implement it, but it shows that in 2023 there was an initiative to implement a tax on betting, a 10% tax of that. And then you came out to tell us today that no, you never did anything like that, and that the National Democratic Congress want to, rob you with mud. We do not sit in favor of any political party, but we are speaking for the people. You said you didn't implement it, that's fine. So who implemented it? If you never implemented it, why was it documented that in 2023 that particular initiative was implemented? And who was in power in 2023? It was the previous government. And if the previous government was in power in 2023 when this initiative was brought up, then who implemented it? Was it a ghost? Or was it unknown human beings? Or was it human beings under mask? And even if it wasn't implemented by your government, why then did you say in your campaign messages, like the former vice president said that he wanted to scrap the betting tax when he's being voted into power? You see, let's stop deceiving ourselves. It's about time we have to wake up as leaders of the country and tell the truth as it is. You cannot keep covering up yourself and the secrets and all about, because definitely the social media will definitely prove you wrong. And this is it, that in 2023 there was an initiative that shows that a tax on the gaming industry was implemented under your administration, because in 2023 the NPP government was in power. So who then initiated it? And no institution can just bring out an initiative without the consent of the government. You cannot tell me that you initiated this without the government's knowledge, without the government knowing nothing about it. And today you come to tell us that you have no fair idea about that. And so they are trying to rob you with mud. So you have no idea, that's fine. Where is the money? So that money you didn't implement it, so the money has been going to the game industry. Is that what you're trying to tell us? You see, when it's happening like this, it tells us of how untruthful you are. And it also tells us that you are not ready to be accountable, and you are not being transparent enough. Because you cannot tell me that you never implemented this, but this also showed us in 2023 something like that was brought on board. And if it wasn't initiated or it wasn't implemented, why was it taking effect? Why were investors having effect, feeling it when they stake and then they win? This is a question. And I'm sure maybe they didn't really ask themselves this question before coming out to say that they didn't implement the betting tax. But you see, one thing I want our leaders of this country to know, that you cannot keep lying to us always. No. Even if you lie to us, trust me, social media here will definitely prove you wrong. Because whatever you say or whatever you documented down is here. And it will certainly prove you wrong if you are trying to hide your way, or if you are trying to find a place to hide yourself. Let's stop all this. There's things that do not help us as a country. Just accept the fact that you've implemented it and the money has been embezzled in a wrong way. The money has been used in a wrong way. But if you come to tell us that, well, you never implemented it, but we are still feeling the heat, then it's up to you. Thank you for making time with me on the Biz Grill.
This is GhanaTalks Radio, the best station
Hello, so it's time for Today in History and Did You Know live on GhanaTalks breakfast show. I answer to the name Miss Regina Bliss. So today in history, 1917, the South African government issues a proclamation stating that all Africans in urban areas must carry identification passes. This move sparked widespread protest and resistance. So 1956, the British government bans the African National Congress and the Pan-Africanist Congress in South Africa, leading to increased repression and resistance against apartheid. 1999, the president of Mauritius, Kassam Utim, resigns amidst a political crisis sparked by food riots and protests against economic austerity measures. Today in history, 2013, the African Union celebrates its 50th anniversary, marking 5 decades of Pan-African cooperation and integration. On this day in 1947, U.S. President Harry S. Truman articulated what became known as the Truman Doctrine when he asked Congress to appropriate aid for Greece and Turkey, both of which were facing communist threats. 2009, today in history. American hedge fund investment manager Benny Madoff plead guilty to various crimes related to his operation of a Ponzi scheme that was one of the largest in the world. He was sentenced to 150 years in prison. Moving to some Did You Know fascinating fact for today. Did you know that music has the ability to repair brain damage as well as return lost memories? Yes. Did you also know that the glowing waves, that is certain of types of wave, like those found in Vadhu Island in the Maldives, can glow in the dark due to a chemical reaction called bioluminescence? Did you also know that in 2005, Neil Armstrong once threatened legal action to his former barber, who had earned $3,000 for selling a lock of the astronaut's hair? The barber took no heed of the threat and went on to make over $38,000 in 2016 by selling both the hair and the barber's comb and scissors. Did you also know that the favorite alcohol beverage can go to your head a lot quicker than you think? Researchers at Heidelberg University Hospital found that just 6 minutes after consuming alcohol, changes are already taking place in the brain. Did you know that the Twitter bird has a name? Its name is Larry. The infamous bluebird of social media was named after former NBA player Larry Bird, who used to play for Twitter co-founder Biz Stone's home state team, the Boston Celtics. So Twitter has a name. It's called Larry Bird. This is where I end today's Today in History. And did you know, live on Ghana Talks Breakfast Show. Join me same time tomorrow to be educated and enjoy some amazing, fascinating facts. I answer to the name Miss Regina Bliss. Over to Miss Esinam.
So the name of the bird, the logo we see on Twitter,
Yeah.
now known as X.
X.
Your friend is saying
Larry Bird.
Larry Bird.
Yes, Larry.
Obi Bird.
Larry. Now the
Larry
bed. Now
Bird.
also yes.
And what did you say about the alcohol?
Alcohol takes 6 minutes to start working in our brain.
In your that is why when people take alcohol,
They don't think well.
because right after 6 minutes,
Yes.
and
It's that
starts
the way.
it's doing blue in your head. Thank you so much, Miss Regina Bless, for educating us. At least I know that the bird on Twitter is called Larry Bird.
Yeah.
And after 6 minutes, when you take alcohol, your brain begins to do dululu. Thank you so much for joining us in the first segment of the Ghana Talks Breakfast Show. Right after the news, we'll be coming with a second segment with insightful discussion with some knowledgeable guests. Thank you. Second, stay with us.
This is GhanaTalks Radio, the best station rocking the nation.
Hello, good morning, and welcome to the Daybreak News on Ghana Talks Radio. Coming up, 2025 budget. Government allocates 7.51 billion cedis to DACF to boost local development. We will cut government spending to reduce debt. After forcing 321 pharmacists have not been paid since June 2023 at forcing, and in some other stories, it will take 12 years to complete 55 stalled projects at forcing. This business, sports, and showbiz is coming in this morning's bulletin. The news will be read by Awentemi Akansukum. Now let's settle for the details. As part of efforts to strengthen decentralization and drive economic growth at the local level, Finance Minister Dr. Kaisel Atuforsin has announced an allocation of 7.51 billion cedis to the District Assembly Common Fund DACF in the 2025 budget statement. The announcement, made during the budget presentation in Parliament Tuesday, March 11, 2025. According to the Finance Minister, the move underscores the government's commitment to empowering district assemblies and ensuring equitable development across the country. He emphasized that a minimum of 80% of the allocated funds would be sent directly to the district assemblies, marking a departure from previous practices where less than 50% of the DACF reached the local level. The increased allocation and direct disbursement of funds, according to the Finance Minister, are expected to empower district assemblies to undertake critical development projects, including infrastructure, education, healthcare, and sanitation. Finance Minister Dr. Kaisel Atuforsin has assured Ghanaians that the government will focus on reducing the fiscal deficit and public debt by cutting spending rather than relying solely on tax measures. Presenting the 2025 budget statement to Parliament Tuesday, Dr. Forsin highlighted the concerns raised by Ghanaians during the recent National Economic Dialogue. He emphasized that the government would align its expenditure with the country's fiscal realities adding, whoever pays off their debts gets rich. To achieve this, Dr. Forson announced a three-pronged approach starting with the 2025 budget. The strategy includes recalibrating fiscal adjustment and implementing economic reforms described as shock therapy to restore stability and growth. Now, Finance Minister Dr. Kesa Latufo has revealed that a total of 321 pharmacists employed in the public sector since June 2023 have not received salaries. Presenting the 2025 budget statement and economic policy in Parliament March 11, he noted that a social media conversation ahead of the budget presentation unraveled the issue. Dr. Atofo assured that the government has initiated steps in addressing the concerns of the aggrieved individuals. Mr. Speaker, we also engaged the youth in a dialogue on social media as part of our new budget consultation, and during my engagement with the youth, it was revealed that 321 pharmacists who were employed since June 2023 have not received salaries. He further highlighted the importance of including the youth in policy formulation, while stressing that his interaction with the youth was an eye-opening experience. Moving to some other stories, Finance Minister Dr. Kesa Latufo has revealed that completing 55 stalled projects left by the previous government will take at least 12 years due to constraint from the IMF supported program and bilateral creditor debt restructuring. Speaking during the presentation of the 2025 budget statement in Parliament Tuesday, March 11, Dr. Forsing explained that the debt restructuring process has created a heavy financial burden, leaving about $3 billion in undisbursed loans and approximately $300 million in unpaid bills and outstanding interim payment certificates. These financial challenges have led to the suspension of several critical infrastructure projects across the country, including the Efiang Kwanta Regional Hospital, Kejetia Market Phase 2, the Bogatanga Boko Pulumakom Road Project, and the Tema Aflao Road Project. Mr. Speaker, the IMF supported program imposed an annual disbursement ceiling of $250 million for official bilateral loans. This constraint means that it will take a minimum of 12 years from the recommencement of disbursement to complete these 55 stalled projects. We will be engaging in the coming days to resolve this, he stated. Now, moving straight to some business this morning, the Ghana Union of Traders Association (GUTA) has raised concerns about the current value-added tax structure, stating that it does not align with the realities of the retail and wholesale sectors. Charles Kusi Epiakubi, head of the Business and Economic Bureau of GUTA, emphasized that the existing VAT system creates challenges for businesses, leading to compliance issues and financial constraint. Speaking on Channel 1 TV, Kubi explained that the disparity between the standard VAT rate of 22% and the 4% rate of some goods creates an uneven playing field. He noted that consumers facing reduced disposal income due to inflation and economic challenges often opt for cheaper products, leaving businesses struggling to meet their tax obligations. Charles Kusi Epiakubi further highlighted that businesses are often forced to lower their prices to remain competitive, which can lead to non-compliance with VAT regulations. Kubi emphasized that a revised VAT structure will not only ease the burden on businesses but also encourage compliance and foster growth in the sector. Straight to some sports this morning, Finance Minister Kesa Atofo has announced the elimination of the electronic transaction levy, e-levy, and the 10% betting tax, citing their failure to meet revenue expectations and their contribution to Ghana's cost of living crisis. presenting the 2025 budget statements and economic policy to Parliament, March 11, 2025. Dr. Forsing emphasized that scrapping these levies, originally introduced by the previous administration, is a critical step at easing financial pressures on Ghanaians and supporting economic recovery. The decision follows widespread calls from football fans and bettors who argue that the betting tax significantly reduced their winnings, leaving them with little to no profit. The betting tax, in particular, had drawn frustrations from Ghana's youth, who saw it as a hindrance amid scarce formal employment opportunities. Dr. Forsing also assured Parliament that the government will focus on improving revenue collection efficiency rather than introducing new taxes. This approach, he said, would ensure sufficient funding for development projects without increasing the financial strain on citizens. Now, the Talisel Ghana Music Award (TGMA) has firmly cemented itself as a cornerstone in Ghana's vibrant music industry, an event that draws both admiration and criticisms in equal measure. Since its debut, the awards have been anything but predictable, with their fair share of controversies, public debates, and accolades. Yet, despite the drama and heated discussions that have often surrounded it, the TGMA has undeniably played a pivotal role in the evaluation and advancement of Ghanaian music. One of its most celebrated contributions have been its unwavering support for emerging artists. Through programs like the Unsung Initiative, the TGMA has acted as a springboard for rising stars, giving them not just a chance to shine, but a platform to compete with established acts. Acts such as Ebony, Miss V, and Kwame Eugene owe much of their early success to this program, which allowed them to win and gain the visibility and recognition they needed to make their mark. However, for all its contributions, the TGMA has never been a purely altruistic endeavor. Beneath the glitter and glamour of the red carpet lies the undeniable fact that the awards are also a business venture. And that's it with the Daybreak News on GhanaTalks Radio. Log on to www.GhanaTalksRadio.com for more of these stories. The news was read by Awintemi Akansukumasi. Thanks so much for making time. Good morning.
Are you ready to amplify your business or brand's reach and make a meaningful impact in Ghana and beyond? Partner with GhanaTalks Radio today to connect with a diverse audience across Ghana and beyond. Elevate your brand through on-air promotions and social media. Boost your brand during prime time. With GhanaTalks Radio, you can extend your reach across digital platforms. GhanaTalks Radio is not just a station, it is a community hub where your brand becomes part of the conversation. Join us in fostering connections, celebrating culture, and making a lasting impression. For customized sponsorship packages and enquiries, email contact@GhanaTalksRadio.com or call +233 202 544614. GhanaTalks Radio, giving the youth a voice.
What do you want for breakfast? How do you want your breakfast?
English breakfast, French fries.
Koko Nikosi, alo komi kesheto.
Wache.
Well, Gobe is the real deal.
Join us on GhanaTalks Radio. Let's serve you a buffet of breakfast.
From news headlines review, current affairs to social issues.
Entertainment, sports, and all the trending stories live on our mobile app and across all socials from Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 10 a.m.
With me, Pakwesi Omare,
Regina Bless,
Deborah Adoso,
and I am Esinal Fiagbedu. This is GhanaTalks Breakfast Show.
GhanaTalks Radio, #1.
morning. Good morning to our beautiful listeners. Good morning to Ghana. Good morning to everyone in the studios with me as we welcome you to Ghana Talks Breakfast Show on Ghana Talks Radio. My name is Pakwesi Omare. It's another Wednesday with my Peter and Paul. It's interesting, you know. How did this pair even come across? Is that
it's a coincidence? and one thing is that I've been on shows on other stations, and I always meet people called Peter.
Wow.
So I just don't know. Maybe that's how it's supposed to be.
That's how it's supposed to be. Wherever you are, kindly join the conversation on all our social media platforms at Ghana Talks Radio. You can also join us on our WhatsApp platform 0202544614 0202544614. Let us hear from you. Let's get interactive as we get the conversation underway. Gentlemen, how has your weeks been?
This week, I think, to me, it has been a bit of hectic.
Hectic for you?
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm working on 1 or 2 projects, and because of that, I've been busy.
Oh, okay.
And yesterday, we need to also get time to listen to the budget.
Yeah.
So that today we can really explain it well to Ghanaians. But before any introduction, now, because of what the youth are going through, any chance I have on any station, I want to talk about the effect of drug abuse, especially what we call red. That today the young guys are, I don't know whether they are taking advantage, they are abusing it. My advice is to the youth is that your life is more important than any other thing. There's no happiness than you having a very good life. Red can never make you happy. So let us stand up and fight against red.
Let all stand up and fight against red as Mr. Adai Peter advocates for the youth, to the youth, and for Ghana this morning. Paul.
Yeah, Omari.
Good
morning. I'm doing very well.
Thank
Just
you.
that I wasn't impressed about yesterday's budget, but still I'm doing very, very well. Yeah. Then let me say a big good morning to your viewers and listeners.
Sure.
Yeah, and also a very big good morning to Mr. Benjamin Nage.
Okay.
He's the former PC for Shaios Doku.
Oh, okay.
Now he's coming to. He wants to contest. He wants to contest for the position of the Greater Accra Regional Organizer.
Okay.
You know, if you want to win an election, it's very important that you win Greater Accra.
Sure.
Checking from history, you can say that all those who won the elections in Greater Accra won the general elections. So winning elections, I think winning apart from 2020, because 2020 majority some other regions voted let me say blouse and skirt and blouse or kabaya and whatever how you call it. So that's how we had a chance to pass through.
Okay.
But if you want to win general election, you have to win Greater Accra.
Okay.
It's very important.
It's very important.
Yeah, then you know, as the organizer, you have to control all the other wings, the women's wing, the youth wing, and Nasara wing.
Okay.
So we need a new energy, a new force who can manage all these wings for us to win Greater Accra.
Okay.
We are still under restructuring. We are still rebuilding to recapture. Yes, because judging from this budget, that first budget. Yeah, you can see the MPP still has a chance in 2028. The MPP is going to win 2028. Judging from this budget, because
that's a bold statement.
Yeah, because I didn't hear anything about job creation. Job creation about the quantity. That's the only thing I heard about.
Wow.
Yeah, the 24-hour economy. I didn't hear anything about
the entire budget that was read yesterday. All you heard was
my focus is about job creation. Okay. Fine, if we've been able to relieve some burden, some tax burdens on citizens, on the youth.
Yeah, and in regards to that, there's been this argument since the reading of the budget yesterday that the former finance minister held a press statement and said that there was no tax on betting. In fact, it was never implemented. Do you share the same sentiments with him?
I heard during the the presser.
Yeah.
I heard him saying that, but Chabet. So I don't know how it was working.
Oh.
Yeah, but Chabet, I won't sit here and say I do betting once a while.
Yeah.
I'm not too addictive when it comes to betting.
Once in a while.
Once in a while. And when I win, my wins, I sometimes say that some percentage or some amount has been deducted from my wins. So, but I don't know how it was working, because even in the budget, it was talking about winning on lotteries.
But okay, and under what organization?
I don't know whether betting falls under the gaming commission.
Okay.
Yeah, gaming commission or under national lotteries. I don't.
Okay.
Or even if gaming commission also falls under
the
national lottery, or they are all under different. They all have separate. They are all separate institutions. I don't know whether National Lotteries Authority and then Gaming Commission are separate institutions. For that one, I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, because I don't know how it works.
Okay.
Unless maybe I stand to be corrected. Sure. If you can educate me also.
Sure.
Yesterday, I was very surprised. There is one thing that I've seen the MPP is doing, that I would advise my brothers from the north should be careful with the MPP.
Why?
They mostly use them and damn them. They mostly use them and disgrace them. Let me start. Our former Vice President Alhaji Aliyu Mahama was used by President Kufuor and he was dumped.
How was he dumped?
He went for primaries and he had less than 100 votes.
He lost. He went to election.
No.
Yes.
So he wasn't dumped.
No, I'm coming. When a former, because he was advised to stop. When he tried to continue, he was advised to stop, but he still tried. He insisted to still go in for the election, and he was dumped. Because if a former vice president going in for election and have less than 100 votes, it speaks a lot. The second person I will talk about is Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, was used by the MPP in opposition. He organized more than 16 lectures, talking about figures he doesn't understand, using the economic books to answer questions, not knowing when it comes to practicality, he's zero. The third person they want to use is the former finance minister.
Now, how are they using him?
Oh, they are using him. What is happening now is they forced him to go and say what he said yesterday.
Who forced him? He's the finance minister.
He was the former finance minister, and the party wrote something on paper for him to go and read.
So, are you saying
the work of caucus press conference is not just, you can't just sit down and say I'm going to organize a press conference. It was made by a caucus.
Okay.
He's the ranking member on finance.
Okay.
And the fear I have now is, now if they go to committee meetings, they will not take him serious.
Why?
We are aware. As my brother was saying, he is into betting. Anytime he wins,
I didn't say him. I said once a while.
Once a while, he sometimes bet. Yeah. And per what he said, anytime he wins, 10% is taken away from his money. And our former finance minister is telling us that is a fallacy. So who was taking our money?
Who was taking our money?
I think some people need to answer these questions. It's very important.
It's very important that we get answers for who was taking money from the betting revenues made by customers who were into this betting investment. But I think everyone has come out to disregard what the former finance minister said. So I don't really know the basis of what he's saying. But
do you know something? I'm on a platform with a brother. Good morning, Sedan.
Yeah.
PE teacher, Educom Primary Secondary Technical School.
Okay.
We are on a platform. He's a good communicator. I would say he's an underground good communicator of the MPP. Sedan, good morning. I asked him this morning to explain in the betting tax, and he was just trying to explain things that you don't even understand. My problem is this morning the MPP communicators are going to suffer when a big man in your party like the former finance minister comes out and make word allegation like this that you know is even a lie. This morning you are forced to defend, and from every station in Ghana this morning you will see communicators being forced to defend this. But what I'm saying is, Ghana actually is not in the hands of those who think they have PhDs. Ghana is in the hands of the ordinary people. That is why before 2 weeks or a week before the reading of this budget, our finance minister went to Makula Market to go and listen to the lay people at the market, the actual state of the nation. So the NPP believe in books. They believe in theories which are not workable. Ghana, our economy is really measured in our markets.
Okay.
It is measured on the street.
Okay.
It is measured by the government worker, the salary he receives. And I know this incremental budget is going to take Ghana far. And I know by the end of this 2025, 2026, 27, 28, MPP is going to turn to Osno Ketenkete party.
Paul,
Sir,
is it true that you are going to suffer on this platform?
how are we going to suffer?
That's
I said that's why I was saying. You know, I was talking about the budget yesterday.
Yeah.
That was spread yesterday. The budget, point 26, or 26. I heard the finance minister saying before they come out with the budget, he went out to have discussions with the Mokola women, which you and I know for about 3 days for it to read the budget. Before we saw him Mokola, when it was about 3 or 4 days for him to read the budget. That's why this budget is called an Azhar budget. Do you know one thing? No. The budget was sent to cabinet for pre-approval.
Okay. When was it done?
It was done before he went to Mokola.
Okay. So what?
So did he? I was like, did he go there to Mokola to engage the women to come and amend the budget? That was what I want to know.
Let me help my brother.
You come.
Did he go there? Did he go there?
Yes.
For them to amend the budget, and then even after, as it seemed last Saturday, he held Khalid held a speech, and he was on the speech to tell the youth about what they should expect. That was necessary. Just populism tactics, settings, tactics, antics. You get it? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. This budget is an Azam budget. You can't even see the economy is in distress. The economy is in distress, but we didn't even see a clear financial plan to drive the economy back to its state. There wasn't anything like that. He just came to make proposals.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, and then this 24-hour economy thing, that was their key campaign promise.
Yeah.
You and I know this, and my mother is aware of this. And this 24-hour economy, we all know it was a key campaign promise that was going to bring job, because this 3 shift was going to bring job.
Yeah.
But now we didn't hear it about the 24-hour economy. Even before the president came to parliament, they even said that even the 24-hour economy is already in place. It has already begun.
Okay.
Which we all know is a lie.
Okay.
Which we all know is a lie.
Okay.
There wasn't any money allocated for the 24-hour economy. Committees have been set. Whatever. Advisors about to the presidency about 24-hour economy. We've had all these things.
Okay.
But still, in the budget, we didn't find any money allocated.
Okay.
To start the implementation of the 24-hour economy. We didn't see any money allocated. Now they are saying they can't have money. They can't allocate any money to the for the completion of the Agenda 111. And you know Agenda 111.
I think with Agenda 111, the president has already made proposal to the
faith-based organizations
to come in support.
To come in and support, for them for the completion of the Agenda 111.
So that goes heavily owned by government, heavily owned by these missions.
Okay. Then that's a good idea, because the Agenda 111 is also about job creation.
Okay.
Because directly, people are going to be employed, like nurses, doctors, lab technicians, accountants, and other things will be employed, and also indirectly, you have people selling some watches, some porridge. Some people will be doing mobile money.
Indirectly, people are getting jobs.
Getting other things. So, but my main focus is that the 24-hour economy, the key campaign promise. Where is it?
But is it the only thing Ghana needs right now?
My brother.
I'm coming.
Yeah.
The finance minister stated that the 24-hour economy policy will be represented very soon. A bill of it will be represented very soon. It will be presented very soon to Parliament for some amendments and approval, so that they can kickstart with its implementation as well. He stated it will bring to Parliament later. It will be brought to Parliament later. Yeah. When? The question is when. Later could be today, it could be tomorrow.
It could be, so why, if it could be today, it could be tomorrow. The most important thing is that was your key policy, and it's about job creation.
Okay.
You think about they came in and say about 2 million youth are unemployed. That was their message. Yeah. That was about 2 million youth are unemployed in this country.
So you didn't hear anything
about job creation?
Yeah.
No, about the big push. The big push is also even it's about more. It's more about creating or completion of more projects or infrastructures. That was what the big push is even more about.
Okay.
It's not even more about job creation.
Okay.
So if they want to tell us the big push is more about job creation, then and how are they even going to implement this? They were talking about the gold board and other things. And the gold board, this is where I found something wrong. I think even the finance minister shouldn't have even spoken about the gold board.
Okay. Why?
Well, when he mentioned about the gold board, the only thing I heard is that they'll be able to to export about 3 million tons of gold per week. Am I right? It's about 3 million tons, or 3 million tons per gold per week. And they are going to buy the gold from the small scale miners.
Okay.
He made it clear there that they are going to buy the gold from the small scale miners. What about the big companies? The big companies who are mining, who are taking larger part of our gold, like the Sanko, like the Newmount, like the AGA. Because that was saying, if they haven't come out with a clear policy about the gold board, you shouldn't have even mentioned it there. Because he came there and mentioned that what they are going to derive from the gold board is what they are going to buy is from the small scale miners. That's what they came to say.
Okay.
He didn't add anything. Like maybe with the big institutions, like with the big companies, the big money companies, we've also had this plan with them to also buy this gold from them. We don't allow them. He didn't say anything about that.
Okay.
He just came to just say they are going to buy from, and then the small scale miners are quiet.
So, in all, what is your overall review summary of the?
In all, I think this is just they still think they are campaigning and they are making promises, but these are proposals.
Okay.
They still think they are campaigning and they're making proposals. This is an budget, just to paint them, paint fundamental. Just to paint them, to make them beautiful, or let me say, just to give them some nice dress to wear. It's an azar, but the engine is weak, but they spray the body like a car that has a very very weak engine, but a very nice body. Okay, that's how this is. That's how the budget sounds. That's my review. That's how I see the budget.
Okay. Okay.
Budget.
We'll get into some matters of the budget very soon in regards to some allocated funds to various departments and but
Peter, I'm very sad listening to my brother saying the budget did not really talk about job creation.
Okay.
When we're talking about job creation, it's not just telling me I'm quitting NAPCO. NAPCO, Ghana Youth is above NAPCO.
Okay.
We are putting money into the private sector. When you say we are putting money into private sector, it's not sometimes just giving them grants or giving them loans. But when the system put in place enable the private sector to really run very well, it's a good sign that the government is investing in the people.
Okay.
Yesterday when the budget was being read, I was in the office of one of the biggest poultry industry, one of the pushers of the poultry industry in Ghana, out in his office.
Okay.
And what the man said is, because of e-levy, he even stopped paying his workers, those tabletop workers, using Momo.
He used to pay them through
Momo. And he said the amount of deduction that was taken away from his money anytime he paid them through Momo. So sometimes instead of he paying them on time, because he has some of the poultry farms outside Greater Accra, so he sometimes need to pay those people through the Momo.
Okay.
So he need to take them maybe days. Instead of paying them on maybe 30th, it may move to 1st or 2nd. So now that they've taken out all the this e-levy, he can go ahead and do those payments. If you are somebody who is into money transaction, you really see the effect of e-levy. All these things are ways of building the price sector up.
Okay.
Just like the emission levy was taken off, in which the resale tax was taken off.
Okay.
Things like the car insurance, the 10% on car insurance were all taken off. All these things are things that is going to build the private sector. Okay. So my brother may not we saw some of their MPs sleeping in parliament. So it's normal. It might be he was also asleep. But if he really took his time to listen to the budget, he will see most of the things the minister was talking about were things to build. So if you are going to, like the big push, we are going to invest in the uncompleted project. If there is a hospital that has not been completed, after what will happen? We employ teachers.
Okay.
If there is a hospital that have not been completed, like the ferry and the other hospitals that are going to be completed by the end of this year, if you are able to do that, we are going to employ nurses.
Okay.
So sometimes when we talk about employment, we're not just talking about saying short-term policies. No. We want the youth deserve a long-term policy that will help them.
Okay.
If you're a teacher, there is no way a government will come and tell you you are being moved out of the system. Before I wind down, last week we spoke about teachers and nurses were asked to move from their posts because they were recruited in December and November last year. To my surprise, I was in Koforidua within the week to check how this new, because the government came up with a new policy that teachers who were recruited in November and December should go with their appointment letter, with their licensure exams, with their
for some
certificates
to be reinstated.
Omari, it will surprise you. People came there without certificates. People came there with training college certificates, I'm telling you the truth.
Really?
People came there without certificate. People came there without license. People came there without the required papers or documents they need to enter into the system. So the question is, why were these people given appointment letters?
So
I think
they were recruited without the
required because now GES have its own. If you really want to verify, contact any education office and they will tell you.
About the nurses who you said about or teachers.
I'm talking about teachers.
I don't know if their recruitment, it has to go through a process, right? And there are GES in every district.
You have GES. No, that's not how the recruitment is done. Now recruitments are done at the headquarters. So most of those
I know it's done there, but I mean the after everything, even if you are being, I know the district assembly has GES, has the officers and other things.
Yes.
I don't think the officers there, if there are things going wrong there, they will stay mute.
You don't know how it is. The issue is when the person is posted, the person is not at first. When you are posted to a school, you are first posted.
He's actually a teacher.
I'm a teacher.
So I want him to clarify this.
At first, when you were posted to the education office. So the education office will rather give you a school. But in recent times, teachers are posted direct to a school. So in your appointment letter, it will be like you are posted to I don't want to mention the name of a school. You are posted to maybe state B school of this area. So I'll go to that school, take my assumption of duty letter, and send it to the district education office. So the education office does not really have much hand in the appointment.
They only
receive you and they will give you you fill some forms from their end after getting your assumption of duty from your what do you call it,
the appointed school.
So somebody can be appointed later. The education office will ask you, come and put your certificates on your file. Because the appointment was done from headquarters, they don't really have direct control over it. So what I mean is, Ghana have gotten to a time that the youth, we should be smart. We should not allow politicians to use us for their political gains. Because initially noise were being made that people were posted, the government don't, and because John Dramani Mahama is a listening government, have asked all teachers. So I'm even using this your medium to tell teachers, the new recruits who are not aware of this information, to take their documents, run to their regional education office. There's a team set up to look through their documents. If they have the right documents, their document will be processed for their staff IDs and due followed by they receiving their salaries. What I'm saying, all these things are actions of a good leader. We saw what happened in 2016 when people were sacked. But this time around, we are saying we want to make sure those who were recruited have the requisite requirement to be teachers.
Okay.
The NDC, the budget we read yesterday.
Yeah.
The MPP is making. Yesterday I sent you 2 voice mail. If you can play them, I'll be very happy. We have this is the first time in the history of Ghana that a minister of finance have read the budget. That the opposition have more than 5 ministers, former ministers and MPs praising the minister. That he was very composed. Steka even go ahead to say he was too realistic. So you want him to lie. And Steka is nobody like the deputy finance minister in the SY Kufuor's government. He praised the finance minister. He said Forson was very straightforward. He was too sincere.
He used that word.
I've sent you some videos. Play them.
I've watched the videos, but I didn't hear him use sincere.
But he said he was too truthful. If you say somebody is truthful, the person is sincere. We are telling Ghanaians the true state of the nation.
Yeah.
But he said something that I love very well.
What did he say?
But we will face it.
Okay.
Without any clear financial plan.
Okay.
There is a clear financial plan. The MPP only believe in taxation. They believe the only means to get money to run an economy is to introduce more taxes. But he doesn't know introducing more taxes is the lazy man approach to economic development.
The financial plan?
The financial plan is the government is investing in helping the private sector to accelerate or to develop. If they develop, they will pay more taxes.
You are saying if.
The government is doing
I like the way you're saying if.
No, I didn't use you. If.
No, you said if they develop. Okay, fine. It's very funny.
But the MPP are afraid that by 2026 they will not get any young person to say I'm MPP.
It's a lie.
Yesterday there was some documentary in Kumasi where the young guys are saying the betting tax now NDC you need here. You better talk about this. Mahama Kwame Nko, 58 years we are so. Hey, every young boy and any young lady be out tax. Monko at interview so Facebook. Now mon chemo doing the betting tax be yamamu. People are happy.
But
because
in regards to
yes,
we'll come back to the taxing.
Yes.
But even with that,
yes,
you scrapped some taxes.
Yes.
These taxes were a backbone to the economy. You scrapped it.
Yes.
How do you plan to compensate those loopholes that has come to?
The economy, if managed well, if ministers are reduced like what John Mahama have done from 100 and something to 60, the expenditure on these ministries, the expenditure of ministers alone can really fill some of these holes.
How much were we gain? And this one I would want you to
KPMG made it clear that scrapping betting tax and levy and other taxes, those nuisance taxes, you might lose about 6.2 million Ghana cedis or 6.2 billion Ghana cedis.
Okay.
KPMG made it clear.
Okay. So 6.2 million Ghana cedis. Are you saying that the expenditure cuts in the ministerial cabinet can cover about 6.2 million?
Not only that, introduction of the road tolls, another way of fixing some of these gaps.
Okay.
Do you know the road toll cancellation was not a cabinet decision? It was not a parliamentary, but it was a cabinet decision.
Okay.
And it was even illegal. If by God's grace I have the financial strength, I will challenge the former road minister. I will send him to court for causing financial loss to the state.
Okay.
Because that decision was just a cabinet decision that was not approved by parliament. And in Ghana, it is only parliament that can introduce taxes and can withdraw taxes.
So why did your people sit in parliament for these things to be passed?
Because they were having the majority. That is now we have a very strong majority that is ready to really make sure the good thing is done.
When the route was cancelled, I think when the route was cancelled, it was a hanging parliament.
Okay.
It was a hanging parliament. You saw how they made noise about the e-levy. when they went to a council, how they made right. So you can't tell me.
We spoke about it. Even
But
your ministers came. Your finance minister came to parliament and said it's not legal.
So
if you remember.
So it's not about they having the majority.
So what?
It's not about they having. They could have challenged it. They could have still challenged it. But through a legal process.
When you talk about,
if you think it's illegal,
majority can be even one. If you
and I'm saying,
you are still in the majority.
And yes, we are still in the majority. But you could have still challenged it through legal means.
Okay.
You should have to sit down and say because you are in the majority.
How our
if
minority
think,
that challenge the process.
If you think it was illegal, you can use the.
That's why I'm saying I'm trying to get the financial muscles, and I will challenge the former road and highway minister.
Meaning all those in parliament do not have the financial muscles. Now all your MPs do not have the financial muscles.
Are you justifying the case that it was actually legal, and if it was illegal, they could have challenged it?
If it's illegal, they could have challenged it. It's simple. Anything illegal,
they could have
challenged it. Yeah.
Okay.
That time the judiciary was an another stamp. It was a front to the executive.
That's an assumption. It's
not an assumption. It's factual.
You shouldn't sit here and mind the parts of the judiciary.
No, I'm not.
It's very wrong for us to do that.
There is a clear case of this guy, the last guy, challenging decision from parliament right after election. When the government lost the election, the judiciary was able to come up with a verdict.
That's fine.
I have a case study.
Okay. Now, let's look into the budget.
Now let me just he was just saying something that he saw some MP sleeping in parliament whilst the budget was being read.
After they have press conference.
No.
It's fine.
It's like he's making fun of some MPs. Like he saw them sleeping, and we all know now the budget has been read.
Yeah.
Now they are going to debate about the budget in parliament. Now we are going to listen to good English. Now we are not going to debate in parliament in other languages. That's where yesterday the NDC MPs they were full in parliament, and then even African Americans, the minority leader said this was the first time I have seen that number. They were now the debate. We are going to expect them to also come out and speak English, good English. Because we know.
Are you saying the NDC can't?
No. We all know what's happening in parliament.
You can.
Just last week,
we all know what's happening in parliament. We all know that the majority of the NDC MPs are not able to speak because of English. Even the Sunano West MP, we saw her.
How many of your female MPs speaks in parliament?
I'm coming.
If you want part, how many times you see her speaking?
We watched the video.
I'm coming.
Hey,
There's superiority that we are giving to English language. Is it really?
Do you campaign in English?
I think.
Do you campaign in English? But Omer was even trying to speak.
No. Let's come to understanding.
You don't respect
our own language. One thing that speaking is difficult for us to use a local dialect in the parliament or in parliament is we have different languages in this country.
Okay.
You know, we can see maybe the Tree is the most speaking language in this country, but I can stand out, I can be on my feet and say this with authority that there are some people in other parts of this country that cannot even speak Tree.
Yeah, I understand that.
So if you try to use a different language, maybe minister for maybe the MP for maybe Bologatanga, East or whatever or West or whatever wants to speak and he use Tree, maybe his people might not be able to understand him.
Okay.
You get it? Maybe his people might not be able to understand him. And then
but
you have people also in the Volta region who will even find it difficult to even understand Tree. A typical Ghana community, I can go there and make us my idea. They stand there and just look at me.
I get you. I perfectly get you. But all I'm saying is this: the way we are giving this,
we are hailing the
supremacy.
We are not giving the supremacy of English.
Did you watch just recently? Zelensky was at the White House.
Yeah.
Held a meeting with Trump.
Yeah.
Did you see his communication? How fluent was he with English?
That's what I'm saying. Maybe they have their language there. Like I'm
exactly.
here.
We also have our language.
We have a language.
We don't need to make English.
We decided to make English our international language, like our national official language.
Okay.
We decided to make it our official language.
Okay.
Maybe the Ukrainians also have their official language, which is not English. I cannot go to Togo and speak English or speak French there and expect me to be fluent like those there.
Okay.
They get it there. So we have made it our official language. Once it's official language, and that's what we debate on. That's how we discuss. Yesterday the budget was read in English, because if it's read in Tree or in Fanti, I would say at the first is a Fanti.
Yeah.
Because he's from the Jumako, around the Jumako area, so it's a Fanti. So if he comes to Parliament, I don't think he can read the budget in Ewe or in Ga.
Yeah.
He will still read the budget in Fanti. If you use Fanti, those in the north, those in the voter, how are they going to understand the budget? That's why we are teaching the students in English.
Okay.
Omari. So it's not about. We are talking about making sense. You can speak English and still will not make sense.
Sure.
Was it last month? The Asancha Chem North MP was the first person, I say, in Ghanaian Parliament to speak his local language.
Yeah.
In doing presentation in Parliament, and you revoke one of the standard orders of Parliament and use that to speak his local language.
Okay.
What I'm telling politicians is that when you are campaigning in the villages, we don't go there to speak English. But after winning power, we now come to our programs, start speaking English. Okay. My issue is these MPs will not make sense even if they can communicate in English. We are really talking about governance.
Mr. Mari,
they were in power.
What he's saying is wrong.
They were in power for 8 years.
I'll give you.
They were in power for. When I said it will not make sense, I mean it will not make meaning.
Okay.
Because you people were in power for 8 years. If you really knew how to govern well, Ghanaians will not vote against you massively.
Okay.
The first time somebody losing massively, one in the region where he come from, and two, even areas we think he belongs, like he's a Muslim, so we are believing Muslim communities will be voting for him, but they vote against him massively. After his loss, his party, Asante Regional Chairman, have organized a group to go for a research, and the party is even saying the information that they are having is false. So what I'm saying is the NPP have nothing to say.
Okay.
They are just making noise. They want their voice to be heard because they know they've lost massively. They want people to listen to their voice so that their constituents will say they are doing something.
Okay.
Like what I was saying, that
when you go on, I'm coming. You see, when we're talking right now, Paul was very quietly listening. I want you to replicate the same thing.
you know one thing. He was saying when we are campaigning in our constituencies, we campaign in our local languages.
Yeah.
But when it comes to Parliament, we are being forced to speak English. Some of these, like after the budget reading, some of these are national issues.
Okay.
That we cannot discuss them in our local languages.
Okay.
Because they are national issues.
Yeah.
So national issues have to be discussed in our official language, so that anybody across or anybody in any part of this country can understand.
All right.
That's how it should be. Okay. So it shouldn't be like we are giving supremacy to the English. That's how we've made it sense.
Okay, but then, is it about the fluency? If the person can make sense of what they are saying.
Yeah, the video from the Sudan West. I know you've watched the video.
I haven't watched it.
You haven't watched me. I watched the video, and from the video, from whatever she was saying, the sentences weren't adding up. So how can I even make a point from it?
Okay.
How can I even make a point from what she was saying? Because the sentences that in the video, you can see. They were not adding up. I was finding it difficult to even make a point.
Let's see how Peter, please.
Let's see how. I will not allow. Do you know one thing? I'm also a gender advocate. I will not allow this my brother.
I don't
to
think
sit
he
in
has
this
said
studio
anything to generate any gender.
What I'm trying to say is, this lady we are talking about is a first-time MP.
Okay.
This lady we are talking about, that was the first time making statements in Parliament.
Okay.
That lady we are talking about.
There was a little bit of nervousness.
It was not. The lady was making his point, but it was that the people were chuckling.
No. We for the sentences she made, you can't make a point from it.
You didn't make a point. I was able to siphon the information you want to make.
Okay. So let's wait. They are going to. You said they are going to debate it, and then
and I wasn't against any gender. I didn't make any statement that maybe she's a woman or she's a female.
No. But you're looking down on that lady, and I will not allow you to look down on the lady.
He's not looking.
No, he's looking down on the lady.
He's not looking down.
How?
This lady was making a very factual.
He didn't look
point
down on her. All he said was
the statement he made was understood by the speaker, and this my brother here. Yes, was understood by the speaker.
Why the speaker didn't understand?
The speaker told you to sit down.
It's not true.
The speaker,
these are things that we should.
It's okay. It's fine.
Please, honorable, continue making your statement.
Yeah,
Ghanaians understand you. People of Sudan West, Sudan West people understand what you are saying, and they are ready to always make you their leader, even if the MPP and then have somebody who have a PhD in English, he will still go to an election and he will lose.
And the sad one, he says she's a first time MP. That's why maybe she was feeling that there was a little bit nervous in or there was a little bit pressure on her. Okay. No, we've seen first time MPs communicating in parliament, whether female, whether male. Well,
how many MPP female MPs
Gloria Usu has been on the floor of parliament. She's a first time MP. She's a female.
What points have he made? Any information?
Gloria Usu has made a point there.
Okay.
Oh, I have the video. I might forward it to you. So it's not.
Maybe it was.
So don't make an excuse that she's the first time MP.
That lady made the point.
I think that everyone has a point with what you are making, with what you are saying. In fact, it's true. Whoever listens, there are people equally, as you said. If maybe you couldn't understand what the lady was saying, so there are some other people who understood it. Okay, so probably it's not really about
points we were made.
Fine, we respect that. One thing I also want to state is that Paul didn't make a gender degradation statement. He was only trying to clarify that the lady wasn't able to express herself to make a point. So that fact is clearly made on my platform. Now, moving forward, I want us to look at something. And this one, I will need Paul to really clarify this for me. The reserve that your government left, when we look at the debts, that's about 761. And it's making about 68% of our GDP. And your government was confidently campaigning on such a performance.
My brother, we came in, we were talking about debt, both external and internal. And we are still campaigning on such a performance because we inherited a bad economy. We went through some global crisis.
I'm coming. You inherited a bad economy.
Yeah.
Are you sure?
But the president made it clear that he let them beat to the bone. He was referred to at parliament, then he couldn't defend it.
Do you remember? Do you remember? Let me.
By me, one thing is that I don't base on that because that was the reason why Ghanaians also voted him out.
Okay.
So I don't for that one. Once he's gone, he's gone.
He's gone. Okay.
So the same thing, we were campaigning on because we borrowed the money and then we had a financial plan to also pay those debts. Now they are in. Ghanaians have voted us out. When we were campaigning, we were having a financial plan that will be able to clear all those debts.
What were some of the plans that you had?
Like we also read the budget with our plan. So, but Dr. Bawumia was campaigning.
Look, the reason why I'm asking this is this: let's say, just suppose we all understand in 2016 the NDC left a bad economy, but they made a plan. They created a sinking fund. They created YESLA to tackle energy. What did you create with this debt that you left us?
What I'm saying is that we, after everything from 2017 to 2019, the whole world globally, we all face some crisis. So we touched some of these funds, and we touched some of these funds, even the pensioners. We even touched some of their funds. So you can see that clearly the economy was in crisis. The president and the vice president even admitted it. That clearly. But we know how to come out of this. Now they are in. Fine, Ghanaians have voted us out because of all this. But they were also campaigning that MPP were borrowing without any plan. And I can tell you that all this borrowing were sent to Parliament. None of the borrowings. I don't think none of these borrowings were sent to Parliament for approval.
But you, how much money did the Bank of Ghana print for the Finance Ministry in 2020?
For that one, I don't have a clear view of that.
Okay, they printed about 60
I don't have a clear view of that.
60 billion.
It didn't go through Parliament.
Yes, it didn't.
It didn't go through Parliament.
Yeah.
So it was illegal, and nobody challenged it in court. That's where I always find. That's where I was. They think if it's illegal, you challenge them in court.
But do you believe it's illegal?
If it's illegal, I'm saying if it's illegal, we have our judicial system.
Let's take the if that is for them. But you personally, do you believe
I think illegal? it should be at the Parliament for approval. And it didn't go.
And it didn't go. So
and it didn't go. And then the NDC as the minority also kept quiet and supported illegality. Yeah, they also kept quiet and supported the legality of that thing.
Okay.
Now, fine. They have to come out with a way.
Okay.
To find a structure or a plan to pay all those debts, because now we are no more in power.
Okay.
Maybe if we were in power, we would have. Because we're also campaigning, and as we were campaigning with a plan to win the election.
Okay.
No party will go for an election with the intention to lose.
Okay. All right.
No party will go for an election. So we are campaigning, and when we are campaigning, we are having an agenda that we also have to win this election. So when we win, we will also come up with a plan to pay all those debts.
Okay.
Yeah. To clear all those debts. For now, we cannot go externally to borrow.
All right.
For now, we cannot go, and then I think the IMF also have a plan or a structure for you to pay those debts.
Okay.
Yeah. So for me, I think the lamenting is over. Even yesterday, the finance minister was still lamenting. Campaign is over. Yesterday, he still went to Parliament and he started with lamenting. I don't know why every chance they get, they have to lament.
But even after lamenting, I heard him say that, but we will fix it. So he was just trying to let the public understand where we are.
If you say we will fix it, it's like you are still doing campaign. It's like when you're in a position as a campaign period.
So what do you believe he should have said?
It's that come up with a clear plan, like this and this and this that we've put in place to fix it.
So
we've pushed this and this and this in place, but the NPP left this and this and this and this. You will fix it.
Let's look at some of the plans that they put in place to cushion the economy.
Yeah.
First, we are looking at 13.85 billion allocation for the Big Push program. What is the Big Push program about?
The Big Push program by the NDC, one is to reinvest in the economy, and that one we are looking at infrastructure.
Okay.
We are even looking at helping businesses that are down.
Okay.
To really revamp them, for them to increase their capacity.
Okay.
So if companies are increasing capacity, indirectly, that is where the job creation will come in.
Okay.
When collapse companies, state companies are being revamped, like maybe the Commander Sugar Factory, they are going to recruit people and it's going to create.
So the one will you go there? Will you still continue?
1D1F that was being touted by the MPP are private companies owned by people. But if these people are ready to still continue, the government will invest in them.
Okay, but even with that, the 1D1F policy that your government brought,
was there any policy like that?
That's what I want to ask. How many industries or companies were established by your government?
I have this data, but I have this data, but not on here. That's one. I have this data, and it's very sad. But if I don't know anything, I will not be confused. Confused. We are served at airport. That's why I did my service.
Okay.
During training, AFSEC. Sorry. Let me send my condolences to the staff of Ghana Airport Company Limited, especially the aviation officers. Okay. On Sunday, they lost one officer, Mr. Adingo Anako Mamadou, was a very, very, very committed person, very, very hardworking person.
May he so rest.
Yeah. We were served with the confused during training. Okay. I saw with my naked eye, I tasted the juice. So I'm saying now,
where is it now?
In 8 years. In 8 years.
In 2024,
that's the only.
No. Well, I have the data, but currently, if I say I want to go online, maybe it might take. But I have the data. Okay. And I also didn't bring mine. Okay. I didn't know we tagged them. But fine. But I'll urge the NDC to really continue with the 1D 1F.
Okay.
Because it's a good policy.
Okay.
It's a very, very good policy. Okay. If they are still going to touch on the 1D 1F, it will help. We are developing a nation.
Yeah.
We are developing a nation. It should be a continuous. Yeah. Right. They shouldn't just leave it behind. Okay. They should try and make sure they continue because it is still big job.
Okay.
So for me, with the another 111. I'm sorry, with the 1D 1F, the NDC should still invest in it. Okay. They should push the agenda well. Okay. They might say if they push it, it will be an Ekufad legacy.
Oh no, I don't think, because yesterday after the budget reading, the finance minister was on I think Joy Prime to discuss some functions of it, and he was asked specifically where does he think should be prioritized going forward with this budget allocations, and he said something that really excited me. He said that we should be looking at completing all the abandoned projects. So I think that is a good feat.
As I was saying, the big push alone, the job it will create will marvel you.
Okay, that's fine.
The Narigu Dam that the MPP disappointed the people. All these things are going to be supported by the big push.
Okay.
And if that happens, Agrek is going to improve in the north, and as it improves, it will have effect on the national economy.
That's nice. And one thing I've realized about the big push is that initially the allocation that was proposed by President Mahama was about 10 billion. Yeah. But we see it has increased to 13.85 billion.
That's why we said last week, I told you most of the things the then government said were just on paper. But when we came in, we saw there is nothing there. So in order for us to achieve the goal or the vision of the big push, we need to put in more. Okay. That's why I said that sector is going to create a lot of employment. Because we are going to do a lot of infrastructure improvement. We are going to invest into companies and corporations that can really recruit people.
Okay. Paul. Yeah. We are going to look at some of these allocations. Paul Amaya TSC. Budget no anya the papa bi enfim. Nti me kenka neme bi.
I said the budget is an example budget.
It's an example, okay.
So and most of them are proposals, and then they still think we are campaigning. But whatever they say, you will fix it.
Okay.
You will fix it.
One thing we need to understand is that budget is service proposal.
Yeah, sure.
But budget does not mean the monies are sitting there.
All right.
So the government will do some presumptions, looking at the revenue you think you can get for the year, and make some presumptions. Okay. That's why in sometimes in the year we have supplementary budgets.
With the revenue.
Yes.
Where are they going to get the revenue?
We'll come to that. We'll come to that. We'll come to that.
Okay.
We'll come to that. Let me read this one. 499.8 million allocation for the no academic fee policy for first year students in public tertiary institutions.
Yeah, but that was one of their campaign messages.
But
I think it's in the good year because my I have two brothers. Mm-hmm. Okay, fine. One just entered.
Yeah,
he entered in this January.
Okay.
So I don't know. And then when he entered, he's not having a juice was making honorable his name because it's an honorable minister and honorable MP. So honorable Lawina Jusu made declare they will pay those those people they pay the
refund.
Yeah, the refund them. So we are waiting.
Okay.
Because my brother went there and then it wasn't easy. You know, I'm an orphan. And I'm the firstborn. Oh, wow. We are all orphans, so I'm the firstborn. So it's not. It wasn't easy.
You are taking care of.
Yeah. So we are waiting for a refund. Okay.
With good governance. No, I know my brother Paul. By the end of the year, we'll join NDC.
No, it's not. It's not. It's not just talk. I'm waiting.
We need to see the action.
No, it's not just talk.
After my brother Paul receiving the money, he will join the NDC.
Okay.
After receiving, we are waiting.
We wait for that.
By 2028, there will not be any young guy in Ghana.
It's a lie.
Who will say I'm still a member of the MP?
It's a lie.
You are still with us on GhanaTalks Radio. This is GhanaTalks Breakfast Show, and in the studios with me is Paul Adai and Paul Amwako and Peter Adai. I mean,
you see, Paul now is in love with the NDC.
I'm never in love with the NDC. What I'm saying is that
the way and manner that the finance minister presented the budget yesterday, it surprised the MPP.
Okay. What I'm saying is that action speaks louder than words.
Okay, so we'll wait for the action. Yeah. Okay, let's move on. 292.4 million allocated for distribution of free sanitary pads to female students in primary and secondary schools.
That policy,
I think
I am a teacher.
That's one of my best policies.
I am a teacher. I am a teacher.
Yeah.
If I tell you what ladies go through when it comes to the use of sanitary pads in schools,
and has the taxes on sanitary pads been scrapped?
Okay, I didn't hear that about that.
For that, I don't have much information. I don't talk about it. But this thing that we are doing, you are going to source from the local companies.
Was that mentioned?
Yes, I know that one for sure. We are going to use.
Are you sure?
We have in Ghana, we have more than 5 different companies that do production of parts.
I know, but I mean we know Ghana.
So no, this one we are going to use the local industry.
Okay.
So after giving the part to our sisters in the high schools and the junior high schools, again we are helping the local industry to grow, so that they can even employ more.
Okay, that's fine. Allocation 242.5 million allocation to support victims of the Akosomo Dam spillage. Now, this thing really baffles me. How long has it been with that dam spillage?
I would say almost
2 years.
Almost 2 years now. Our president said,
please.
So now we've got the president. No, I'm coming. This time
I'll come to you. I know you think I'm giving Paul all the time, but I'll come to you. Your government didn't really do anything about these people for another government to come to power to pushing them.
For about 2 years, we might say we couldn't do it about them, but we supported it in a few ways. Some few.
How did the government support them? Because everything
we
they received has been from private donations.
Give them rice.
We gave them some food stuff. But let's say one thing. There was this Apiati also dynamite blast.
Yeah,
that caused, and then the government also attended to them. The same thing. I'm matrilineally I'm from Kou.
Okay.
But from the father side I'm from Asante Achwango.
Okay.
And then Agogo and Konongo is a twin city. Agogo. So there was also another blast in Konongo. The people of Konongo also deserve something.
So
even in the state of the nation address even. No. What have you done about?
No, it has already been addressed. I'm working
the way 5,000. You're saying 5,000. What happened to Apiati?
It's
no 5,000. 5,000. No,
Apiati was a whole community being destroyed.
No, I'm coming.
In Konongo, it was houses that were affected.
Okay. Houses, people houses. Some people has the house fully collapsed.
Okay.
Several injuries.
Okay.
And you think 5,000.
Do you think that giving some cushion is worse than not giving anything at all?
No, they should attend. They should. What they deserve better. They deserve more than 5,000. They deserve more than 5,000.
Are you equalizing it based on the government not doing anything?
No, I'm not equalizing. I'm not. Okay, no, he was saying because we don't get food from the Kosovo.
That's what the president said.
And then the same way President Mahama also thinks he doesn't get booked from Asante Achwango. No,
has the president said that?
Already he have made payments.
No,
I'm coming.
Payment 5,000. If it's about giving 5,000,
I'll off your mic.
If it's about giving 5,000, then I think it's about giving 5,000 to those people, those affected people. 5,000 every day.
How long has it been? How long has it been since
recently?
Recently.
Yeah.
So let's give it some time. This spillage in Akosomo has been 2 years.
Yeah.
And if now they are trying to attend to them, even the 2 years people are getting attention, I think the recent ones will also definitely get something. So I understand where you are coming from, but let's give them some time, because it's a president for all, not president for some. So they also deserve something. But at least let's not downplay the cushioning of
few education. The issue of Agogo, Konongo, was only 30 houses. It was not an entire community.
Okay.
And the government have given 5,000 cedis each.
Okay.
Not to each household, not each household. Each household. Household is the number of people eating from the same pot. So in the house, we can have 7 households.
Okay.
So what the government have done is something good that we need to applaud the government for doing that.
Okay,
because this thing happened and there has been a prompt action.
Okay.
And you see, the Asante Regional Minister have made a statement. I'm taking it from your portal, not from my source. It's from the Ghana Talks Radio portal. If the government have done this just in less than a month, action have been taken. We are not saying that is the final disbursement.
But
This is
something
something.
just a cushion.
Then let's pay for the something.
Okay.
But you know,
I mean, I think those 5,000 each. It's not enough.
Okay, it's not enough.
No, but 2 years it took.
But let's look
the
at
lives of Captain Smart. Captain Smart
people
sending
not doing
food. It takes the lives of Ibrahim Mahama
Peter.
sending food. Hush, they serious.
Peter, it's okay. We'll come to that. Paul, 2 years, you didn't do anything. But you see, you are equalizing on
the
people receiving just 5,000.
On the Akosomo spillage.
Yes.
2 years we couldn't do the thing. We I don't know how to put it, because it's like we grew a budget also in last year, but like maybe we would have captured it in our budget this year if we want. maybe. So we could have also captured it in our budget this year.
But you know your government didn't try. I want you
about the Akosomo spillage.
Because I mean, even when it happened, look at how long it took for even the vice president, who was in the country then, to go there before the president also on his traveling missions came back, went there and told them, you people didn't even vote for me.
With the vote issue, he even said same thing in the Asante region. So I'm not be really concerned about the vote issue, because he said same. He made mention of same statement in the Asante region that he made same thing even in the stronghold in the Asante region. He made same statement there. So with that statement, let's put that statement aside. Okay. Because he made same thing in the Asante region, even in the stronghold. That even you are the one to decide for who you vote for.
Last week, there was another tidal wave disaster.
Yes.
And they've also been allocated with 200 million Ghana cedis.
Yes.
To absorb that issue.
Do you know one thing? I've lived in that area before.
Oh, okay.
I did my service in Kita. And that is Kita NMTC. Yeah. That's where I did my service. Yeah. And after the service, I worked there for another year before I left. Oh, okay. Do you know where I was living? The last time I went there, the house is no more.
Wow.
It had been taken away.
The tidal wave.
Yes.
Wow. That thing needs to be attended to.
The issue is, thanks to President Lawrence and Kufuor, they did very well.
Okay.
And because the sea defense that they built in some part of Kita, it was not although complete, where they were able to construct it
everything for the phase 2.
It really helped.
Okay.
But the problem we are having is our leaders. Our former president set up is it a body or an authority to take charge. A CEO was appointed, being paid, but there was no office.
Peter, before that former president came to power, your party had been in power. What did you do about it?
We started something.
What did you start?
We started another sea defense in the Kita area.
The phase 2.
The phase 2. But because President Mahama was in power for his first term only 4 years, he was not able to complete. So when they came to power,
where did you get to with the phase 2?
I think contracts were given, things were moved to sites, and work nearly started, but there was a change of government.
It didn't start. It nearly started.
Yes,
okay.
There was a change of government.
Okay.
They came and appointed the CEO to that same project.
But
no work.
Was done. Wow.
And the person was paid. So what I'm saying is, Ghana, we've gotten to a state that people deserve better.
Okay.
And we should respect citizens.
All right.
We should take prompt action when there are issues. And you know, still people in those areas, some of them are still sleeping in classrooms. Are you aware?
Yeah.
They're sleeping in classrooms.
I'm aware. But what is your party doing about that? The classroom people.
The classroom people. our first stage is getting them this cushion.
Okay.
And we are Honorable Abloka and the other MPs in Volta region even also started building some mini houses, 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom accommodation. And I think now we are going to continue with that. And I know by the end of the year or by next year, we'll complete with those and we move these families from the classroom to these affordable buildings.
In terms of education, one of our biggest worries had been the free SHS policy, which the NPP campaigned strongly about its elimination if the NDC should take power. But surprisingly, the free SHS has rather received some luxurious treatment ever since the NDC came to power. Have you realized, Paul? Some food, the shortage of food has been
We've stopped eating brown rice. We are eating abna.
And yesterday we saw an allocation of about 3.5. That's been the highest ever.
Yeah. With the first in high school, for what I was waiting for was about the extension to the private SHS. Because that was also one of their key campaign promises.
Yeah.
That they will extend the free senior high school to private schools also, but we didn't see that. I don't know if the money that are allocated, they did mention that part of this money will also be extended to the private senior high schools, because that was also part of their campaign promises.
Okay.
So I want to know when is that policy also going to start? Because the free senior high school with the government, only with the government schools. Initially they were complaining.
Okay.
Now you were complaining about the free senior high school, that the students deserve more. Now you've given them more.
Okay.
Now how about the private school? How are you going to extend it?
I think that the extension, we should be looking at it from an angle where it's going to be, they said they will absorb them gradually. You see, this free SHS
gradually, like they should have made. What I'm saying, they just came out just proposing without any plan.
So you think there is no plan for that?
For the absorbing?
Yeah.
No, there's no plan for that. Like if there's a plan, like I think like it to be there.
Okay.
Like you made it clear there.
Yeah, okay.
Like you made it clear that they are going to absorb it through this way.
The free SHS.
Well, free SHS, as you was mentioning, we are going to give them books. That we are going to give them days. We've increased some of this, the capitation or like the feeding. He mentioned all of this, but I didn't hear anything about the private school, the extension to the private school, how they are going to absorb them.
Okay.
I didn't hear anything about that.
Okay.
How gradually they are going to absorb them.
Okay.
I don't know if that will be captured in the next budget.
Okay. Let's let Peter.
One important thing we need to understand is the absorbing the private schools or bringing the private school on board. One, the president make it known that it will not be compulsory.
Okay, so
it's
if
optional.
The school wants to,
if the school wants,
okay,
you will just send students to them and pay them the same way we are paying the government schools.
So it's still going to be like a 25 economy. Okay. That's also not compulsory.
Yeah.
That's also voluntary.
Yes, so the schools, you can't force a private school by force. I'm giving you students.
Sure.
But if you want to receive our students, you receive them, and as you are paying for their feeding fee, we also pay for those things.
Oh, okay. That's understandable.
You get the point.
Right.
So it's not a different policy from the old free SHS.
Okay.
It's just that this time around we are giving them the chance. If you need students from the government,
then
we post students to your school, we pay their feeding,
okay,
we give you their textbook so that you can run with them.
Okay. That's so. Paul, I think that's clear.
It's still not clear.
I know my brother will never understand.
It's still never clear. If you say it's voluntary,
yeah.
During the campaign, you should have made it clear.
No, listen, you can't force
somebody
who have built a private school.
Something that's voluntary.
Yes.
When campaign, you should have made it clear.
I think it was made.
No, it wasn't clear.
It was.
During the campaign,
he said it.
No, I didn't hear it. I didn't hear him saying anywhere. That's voluntary. The only thing I heard it him saying is voluntary. Is about the 24 economy.
No,
he was saying it's voluntary.
I listened to Sami Jemfi, especially on this matter, and he said that it's not going to be compulsory.
You can't force somebody to build this private school.
Yes. He said
to enroll in SHS.
Then you join.
You join.
Because I didn't hear it. So if you
because most of them were crying that their schools are collapsing because of the free SHS. Okay. So now what you want to do to help them is that now if you want to ask to put students to your school, we post them there and you pay their feeding grant provide your textbook so they also learn from your school.
But the main issue I was actually trying to raise here is this. You said the NDC will scrap it.
And now it's better.
We'll scrap free senior high.
Yeah. What was giving you that information? Why did you think?
Personally, I didn't stand anywhere to say then this will scrap free.
But your party was saying it. You do
that they will cancel free SHS. Yeah. They came, they didn't cancel it.
Yeah.
Fine.
So kudos to them, man.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah, they've done well.
Okay.
We are developing a nation.
Yeah.
We are developing. But what I mean is action speaks louder than words.
Okay. So we need to see.
We need to see the actions.
Okay.
Yeah. For me, that's what I'm saying. These are all proposals. But when the action starts, that's when we will see the reality.
Okay.
For me, for now, they've been proposals. They will debate on it in Parliament, and after everything, if they are
pass.
approved, well, now they have the small majority. So I know everything in this budget is going to be approved.
Okay.
Because they have the small majority, so everything in this budget is going to be approved. So now we are waiting. Action speaks louder than words. Okay. It's very simple.
And then also, some 564 million has been allocated for distribution of textbooks. Now, this textbooks issue, your party didn't do well. You came to change curriculum, and after changing it, you didn't supply the schools with any books.
Look, you know,
it's been 2 years.
You know,
no, this is 3 years now.
We were planning to also come out with this laptop thing.
Please don't go there. Please. Let's not go to the laptop. Let's deal with the textbooks. Students haven't been able to receive. How much is a laptop and how much is a textbook?
No, it's not about the laptop. Can take you from Form 1 to Form 3.
How much is a laptop and how much is a textbook?
We come again on the price once we are buying in bulk. Once we are buying in bulk, and this laptops, maybe when they are leaving, I don't think maybe when they are leaving school they'll take it home.
Really? So you give it to the student and they'll leave it to the school when they are leaving?
No, I mean they leave the school when they are leaving. It's not. It won't be theirs.
It won't be the property of the students. It will just be for the school. So each and everyone comes in.
Yeah, then you give to you. Everything's on it.
You
make your notes and everything.
Will you accept the fact that most of the policies your party tried to implement were outrageous, was out of bounds? It didn't take a critical step, because
most of them were also doing well before the global crisis came. But you know one thing, we should always think that, we should always know that after 2019.
But do you realize you are in 2025?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And you are still talking about.
That's what I'm saying. No, you want to talk about previous government. The previous government faced a lot of crisis. So we shouldn't also leave that behind. So we shouldn't also leave that behind.
What was the major implication of the global crisis? Which of the global crisis are we talking about here?
Oh, the COVID and the other things.
What was the major implication on that?
But we saw how it affected our economy.
I want to know
how it affected our economy.
Yes.
Oh, many ways.
List like 3 to 5 of them for me.
How it affected our economy.
Yeah.
We saw how after this, the government has to tap money because people weren't working.
Okay.
People were at home.
Okay. How much money?
No, without. Oh, for now, I don't have that detail here.
I just want to. I want to. This one.
I don't have that detail here.
Do you know the problem we are having? Let me give you a one scenario. If you come to, for instance, GES, schools do not generate.
Yeah, we
don't generate any money.
Oh, okay.
So even if we were going to school, we will not generate. The government will still pay us.
Oh, okay.
Most of the state institutions,
it's not all about school.
most of the states, though the government are paying, how many of them were generating?
Okay, I get you.
You are not generating, but they were paid.
Okay, Paul. Government touch money.
The government touch money. Yeah.
Okay.
Government use some of these our local monies, and then that's even
government also received.
We received money from
Do you know that
external
we received much more than we touched from our coffers? Do you know that?
For them, I don't know.
You don't know. Okay, then today I'm telling you.
For them, I don't know.
We received much more. In fact, no country on this planet received external support than Ghana did.
And then the president was also applauded for how he managed this COVID.
if
it was applauded. External bodies were all
if you receive this amount of support,
and he used it well.
He used it
well. And
so if you use it well,
we're giving free utility and other things. We're giving free water.
For how long?
Free what?
For how long? For how long?
Even if it's 3 months,
we pay back.
Even if it's 3 months.
But you remember, Kojo Oponkroma came back to say that we are going to pay back. In fact, we are paying it back
in Parliament,
and we paid back. Do you remember that?
That was when we that was when we want to revive the economy. Initially, we were saving lives. Initially, we were saving lives,
and later we were killing lives.
No, now we're trying to revive the economy.
Okay.
And then this thing, even the IMF made a project, made a projection that Ghana's economy will bounce back in 2025. So now they made a projection that the economy will bounce back in 2025.
Okay.
So now then they see as it's now.
I haven't seen that projection yet, but.
Oh, you haven't seen? Oh, they made that.
Those are projections.
They made that our economy will bounce back in 2025.
Okay.
So then 2025, the NDC has come to meet 2025, so they are very, very lucky that they've made economy that's bouncing back.
Okay.
Yeah, so they are very, very, very lucky. Yeah,
that's fine.
Do you know one wicked thing that MPP did was in government was postponing most of our debt to 2027, 2028. The MPP is a party that is very good when it comes to a Katashi method in governance.
This issue we will find time to discuss.
Most of the debt restructuring they did were
restructuring
sent
of the
to 2028 and 2027.
We'll find out.
That's an election year.
We'll find time
so that they really know the election they are not going to win.
We'll go for election we'll go for election with the intention of losing.
No, you don't have that intention, but you really knew people have rejected you.
You knew we were winning the election.
Listen, before we do that, let's look at the allowances for the training institutions as well. There's been allocation for nursing training and teacher training as well.
Okay.
And all these things were things that was campaigned on that the NDC is going to cancel them.
Even initially when Honorable Aruna Yusu came, he was even making some statement that he thinks they should still cancel the allowance.
Okay.
I remember that. I think you heard about that.
Yeah.
That he was making some allegations or some comments that
he said you are going for
that they should still
but if
cancel the allowances. So if they did it, but we are all waiting for what I will not them for information. Sorry for education.
Yeah.
Sorry for education. Yeah. So if he was saying that they want to cancel those training allowances, later on they still bring in the allowances. They still allocate the money for the allowances. Fine.
Okay.
Because what he said, I don't know if I used to. Maybe his ideas were not taken into consideration.
No, he actually didn't say that they are good. He said that to him, he feels that. But then they were going to hold an educational forum.
So maybe after the forum, maybe they might come out with another approach.
Another approach. Okay.
Okay. Then let's wait for the forum.
Okay.
Because he's themselves for education.
Okay. I want us to look at two other things before we move on to our next topics. Let's look at the Women's Bank.
Yeah.
There's been allocation for the Women's Bank.
The Women's Bank is a very good thing.
Yeah.
For that one, I won't say. I'll say could you say for the Women's Bank?
Sure.
Yeah, I would say
sure.
It's a very good thing.
Because we know that the economy, about 30% of it is driven by the market women. By
Atufuasin shouldn't say he went to Mokola to engage them because of the Women's Bank. That's where I'm getting it wrong. Okay. Because the budget was pre-approved before he went there.
Okay.
Yeah, so I don't think.
So maybe it's just a gimmick.
Settings.
No.
Because the budget was pre-approved before he went there.
Okay.
He had a chance. It seems he was part of the ministers that were appointed first.
No. Do you know one thing? Every ministry have field officers who go to the field to get information.
Okay.
As a minister, what he was doing was to verify
whatever
information I'm getting from the field workers.
So
the information was people were happy, and if those of you were able, media men were able to engage the minister before the reading of the budget, he was just giving some.
My point is
about what
my point is
expecting in the budget.
My point is
what I'm saying is whether it was a gimmick, whether it was a joke, whether he was just playing with the conscience, he have read the budget.
Okay.
We've seen how good the budget is. People are happy with it. My prayer is God should help the NDC government so that we get the necessary financial support to fulfill these promises. And I know by 2028, when Ghanaians again go back to the pools, MPP will turn to Osno Kete.
Paul.
That's what I'm saying, that he went there for the women's bank. It's a very good initiative.
Yeah.
But he shouldn't be based on that he went to Mokola to engage the women because of this budget.
But he didn't say that.
No. In the 26 is there.
He went there because of the women's bank.
No, not because of the women, but I say he went there to engage. And then, Mokola and other things, the most people who do business there are women.
Yeah.
If you go to Mokola, most people who do business at Mokola are women.
All right.
Yeah.
Now, let's look at the last thing. In the beginning, in your submission, you spoke about how you didn't really hear anything about job creation and all that stuff. There's been 100 million Ghana cedis allocation for the CODES program, National CODES program. Yeah. What do you make of that?
I'm saying,
is it a good policy?
It's a good policy.
Okay.
It's a good policy.
So now you see there was actually employment being addressed in there.
The main employment issue we have about 2 million youth almost about 2 million unemployed.
Take care of more than 100 million of them.
We have almost about and the 24-hour economy can absorb all.
Yeah, 24-hour economy is economy is about
if the quota can absorb almost about 100 more than almost about half of this.
Yes.
If the quota can absorb about half of this,
but
that means the 24-hour can absorb all.
Coding something is going to create it's going to make the person. It's not that there are some things we need to get it clear.
Okay.
You are going to give you training, but after the training, if you are a programmer, you need to sit down and do more programming.
Yes.
So we are going to build the youth, the capacity of the youth, to the extent that they will not be willing to work for the government. Well,
as a programmer,
so building,
yes, you are self-employed.
So right now, it's all about indirect jobs, right?
Indirect job.
Is
a direct job.
Being a programmer is a direct
It's a direct job.
It's a direct job for the direct job. You're going to be paid by the government.
No, when you talk about we're not talking about being paid by government. That's what the MPP doesn't understand.
You have direct jobs.
Okay.
Who falls under the controller?
No. When you talk, let me educate my brother.
And you have indirect jobs.
It's not true. Let me educate my brother here. When you talk about the indirect job, let's take something like construction work. When we are constructing a road from this place to maybe Medina, people who come and sell pure water there, these are indirect jobs.
Yes.
Because the person selling pure water is not employed by the company. He just somebody having his own company, his own pure water joint or a fridge. Because consultants are around, he is going to sell water.
Okay.
But when you talk about somebody training somebody to be a programmer, do you know the amount they take for designing program for companies?
Sure.
And that's what I'm saying.
It's a direct job.
It's the direct job.
Okay.
Which is going to depend on him or himself on the skills to manage it.
Okay.
No, you are going to give him the skill. He doesn't have the skill.
After the skills, he's going to make everything on his own. Whether it is still be based on him.
It's not necessary.
No, it is still based on him.
Okay.
It's different. It's still based on him. But I think it's a good initiative.
Okay.
That's it. It's a good initiative.
That's what I want.
Yeah, it's a good initiative. Yeah.
It's a good.
But action speaks louder than words. That's what I always see. Promises today.
I'm promising you.
The NDC will not be like the NDC gave us about
this one will not be like
in the manifesto. They have about 270 economic campaign promises.
Yes.
They have about 270.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. Action speaks louder than words.
Okay.
John Mahama knew you'll be going for only 4 years.
Yeah.
But they gave us about 270 economic promises.
Okay.
So action speaks louder than words.
Okay.
It's simple.
I'm happy John Dramani Mahama is the leader of the NDC. And the campaign promise that we came out was a campaign promise of the NDC and John Dramani Mahama.
Okay.
And I'm telling you, the NDC is ready to win power in 2028 and beyond. So we are going to work hard. And I know Ghanaians are ready to work with us.
Okay.
And we are taking Ghana to that promised land.
All right. There is something that I want us to look at before we move on. And I want to read this for you before we get into the conversation. Now, in 2020, the Bank of Ghana decided to build a new head office for $100 million. The Public Procurement Authority did this evaluation and said for what they need, 81.8 million should be enough. So, the Bank of Ghana said their head office will amount to about $100 million. PPA said, we've evaluated it, we are looking at 81.8 million. Bank of Ghana invited 5 companies to bid. Bank of Ghana decided to, so the Simon and Bogetman plus partners submitted the design for the 25-story building on the left. I have the picture here. Yeah. Bank of Ghana decided to award the contract to Gold Key for the design on the right. The floors of the main tower were reduced to 20, but an additional shorter block was added, ostensibly increasing floor space. The cost went up to 121 million PPP approval. So the same PPP comes and say 81 million should be enough. Now they approve 121 million. In 2022, Bank of Ghana took another look and increased the budget to $200 million. By September 2023, the project was at 40% completion. Analysts projected final cost at 250 million. In November 2024, the project was commissioned with the look on the right. Information we have is that the commissioning is technically dubious because the project is around 81% to 85% complete with a large amount of interior work, utility installations and amenities outstanding. Further information suggests that the central building management system that is supposed to enable control of security, utilities and ventilation is still stuck in considerable design and troubleshooting issues. This is in regards to some other amenities not even included here. Some analysts project final cost to top $300 million. It will be nice to see a proper statement from the Bank of Ghana explaining the true state of affairs. Now, let's look at some figures or variations in the course of this thing. The initial cost was 81 million. Then re-evaluation brought it to 121. There was a redesign which brought it to 222 million. Now, security, sustainability and statutory brings it to 261 million, approximating it to the total cost. That is before tax. That is before tax.
Mr. Murray,
yes, sir.
You know one thing, I'm a youth of this country.
Yeah.
And I'm against corruption.
Okay.
And I'm against the misuse of states' funds.
Okay.
So what I'll say is that with this Bank of Ghana issue, I will not talk about it. What the only thing I can say about it is that if there's any corrupt act or any illegal act or any money spending wrongly, then this is in power. They should take them on. I have no problem.
Okay.
I have no problem. I'm a youth of this country.
Okay.
And I pray this country develops.
Okay.
So if there is any money spent, if people have spent money wrongly on this, Mr. Murray, then this is in power.
Okay.
We have the Attorney General. We have the oral.
Yeah.
They should act. The Yoko and other people are there. They should act. They should just invite them. And I'll have no problem. Nobody will go and release this.
Release that. Okay.
Recently, Madam Giftawari, Mrs. Giftawari, was taken by the BNI. I remember some people made posts about release. Some of us didn't support it because she has to go there and defend herself. If truly she didn't add any ghost names, she can defend herself. She can defend herself. Okay. I'm not the one to defend it.
Okay.
So if there's been any illegality there, there's been any corrupt act there.
Why is Peter laughing? Because everything you wanted to say, you can't say it again.
It's not like that.
No. The thing is that I'm not here.
Yeah.
If someone has spent money wrongly, the best thing they could do, that they have the Attorney General there, they have other state institutions who can take them on.
Yeah.
Even the oral is not by the Constitution, but the oral can investigate and then bring them out and then.
Okay.
So they should just, if they feel, for me, they also I feel if the institutions, the Bank of Ghana, the new governor was in parliament and then making all those statements. So if some money has been spent wrongly, they should take them on. I have no problem.
But let me ask you this: do you think, as a country, right now, we need a new Bank of Ghana headquarters?
That's what I'm saying.
No, you, for this one, I just need you.
Oh, for the headquarters as a country, maybe, I don't know, the budget was there already or whatever. They need the budget. We need a new one. But the cost involved, that's my problem. And then
you think we need a new one?
We need a new one.
So,
like how we need a new Heart Village.
Let's look at this. There's been the cry for dialysis machines.
Yeah.
There's been the cry for expansion and renovation of Kolebu, which is our mother health care institution. There's been the cry for Agenda 111 completion. There's been the cry for the eradication of schools under trees. But you believe that a Bank of Ghana headquarters should be a priority, which is coming at a cost of 261 million.
Mr. Murray, I want to say to be a priority, but maybe those there, the governors and those workers there, thought it twice and they might need a new building. I have no problem there, but the cost involved. And I'm saying, if money has been spent wrongly, they should take people on. And I'll support it fully. I'm a youth of this country, and I will never support wrong spendings and misappropriate of state funds and other things.
Okay.
So
regardless of whether your party
whether it's MP, whether it's NDC,
yeah. No. Okay.
So whoever is responsible or those in charge of all those things, they should take them on.
Okay.
I'm okay.
Peter, he's okay. What about you?
It's sad. Give to worry. It's my friend on Twitter.
Okay.
On Facebook. She was one lady I saw, even young, but very influential.
Okay.
So if we put some of these young ladies into positions like the deputy CEO of NSS, and through her, allegedly, can put in about 7,000 ghost names.
Peter, you are reducing the figure for it. It's 81,000. But we are not even speaking about
these are allegations.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
We are talking about the Bank of Ghana.
Alleged.
We are talking about Bank of Ghana headquarters.
No,
so you Gifty's issue will come. But let's look at the Bank of Ghana headquarters. Do you think, as a country, we need a new headquarters for the Bank of Ghana?
There is in economics, basic economics, we call something scale of preference.
Okay.
And we have opportunity cost.
All right.
So scale of preference, you need to list all your needs. Your wants according to your needs.
Yeah.
Your wants according to your needs. So the wants are anything that you really want it.
Yeah.
But which of them is very important. So in doing your scale of preference, you put the most important ones on the top of the table.
Okay. Like the Heart Village.
Yes. So what I'm saying is, if at that time, the government at that time think, if you take Kwalebu, you take the dialysis center, you take Komfanoche, you take the light of Nana 224 to work on that. They still have the Bank of Ghana new headquarters as a priority. Then so be it.
Okay.
What we are saying is, I'm not saying it wasn't important, but on our scale of preference, was that the most pressing need at the time? No.
And the most shocking thing is that funds were disbursed like urgently to.
Yes, you know.
Why do we do this?
When
the urgent needs.
I will not be surprised that you will find Kenneth Oriata name in there.
I won't let us go into any assumptions or allegations.
So what I'm trying to say is, you see people who have hand in there are big fish, and the big fish give contracts that really can make them very juicy, or they take advantage of the juicy contracts. So this contract was very juicy because a contract that the contract some have changed about 3 or 4 times.
And the funny thing is that there are two designs presented.
Yes.
The one they chose
was the expensive one.
I don't get it.
Yes, that is the one. No, you don't get it. You will never get it. I have a friend who is a contractor. He told me, Peter, I'll quit that job. I said, why? He said, Peter, if you don't take care, by the time you finish a contract, the kickbacks, or sometimes the kickbacks, the corruption will come from the top part to the assemblyman. And even sometimes the chiefs, where the development project is taking place, the area, you'll be there, the chief will be in his traditional clothes, come and greet you. Contractor, a chief coming to greet you. So the chief cannot go empty-handed.
This is what I will say about this whole thing.
I think corruption is something that I'm praying and hoping, and I know John Dramani Mahama will do something. Not totally eliminating corruption from the political arena, but reduce it to its lowest minimum.
Okay. Now, this is what I will have to say about this, and I would want the various authorities to listen to us, and especially the government in power. We have pressing urgent needs as a country. A Bank of Ghana headquarters, which is not yet collapsed, shouldn't be a priority of needing a new headquarters for itself. Look at the state of Kolebu. Look at the state of our educational system. Look at our health system as a country. Look at our transportation system. Look at our roads. The roads that farmers need to utilize to get their farm products to the market, to boost the economical growth of the country, hasn't been attended to. There are so many requests made by state institutions. I was here. I interviewed the Ghana National Fire Service communications officer, and he said boldly that for over 14 years they haven't received any cushioning from government. Look at the number of fire outbreaks we are experiencing. So how do they fight these things? But we are allocating already they've allocated $230 million for that building. For what exactly? What do they need that building for? With an outstanding bid of $11 million for furnishing. Do you know what $11 million can do for schools? Please.
Do you know the person also getting the 10%, the 20%? What?
Please.
Is also getting
we are pleading with you as a government. We have pressing needs, not wants. We have things that we can actually benefit from as a country. Not just some particular people wanting to feel comfortable. This headquarters is just about comfortability. I don't know what to say again, but we need to realign our priorities as a country. Let us look at what we need against what we want. There is certain, this is how we should function. And whoever is involved in any corrupt act regarding this Bank of Ghana, because you can't tell me this, what? 11 million for furnishing. And what an answer day? We beg you. You should appropriate it. Taxpayers' money. You can't do whatever you like with the money. And whoever is involved should be brought to books. We beg you. This is Ghana Talks Radio. You are with us on Ghana Talks Breakfast Show. Let us hear from you. Get interactive. Follow us on all our social media platforms. And let's get your views on these pressing issues that we are facing as a country. Before we move on to our last topic of the day. Okay. I'll wait for further verifications about that story. But the last topic is about Galamsey. I don't think we can go a day or a week without speaking about this issue. What exactly is going on? And with this one, I am going to be hard on the NDC because they are in power now. One of the basic things they campaigned on was the fight against Galamsey. And I remember vividly the president, the former president then, who is now the current president, John Mahama, saying that the people we are arresting are not supposed to be arrested. The kingpins are supposed to be arrested. He has come to power and we are yet to see a kingpin being arrested. these people, you go and chase them on the Galamsey site. How many of them can afford an excavator?
And they are seizing the excavators.
Yes.
The seizure of the excavator, it makes sense to me.
If it's about the season of excavators, then people also doing the same thing.
That's why I'm saying why I'm not even bringing the NPP in, because we know we all agree that you have failed in the fight against Galamsey. Now, you new government brought a new way of fighting it, which we agreed and said, okay, then come and do it.
Yes.
You arrest the people who buy the excavator, those who buy the site, the mining site, for people to come and mine. How many of them have we heard being arrested?
One important thing, thank you for this question. Galamsey is something I will not stand for today, I will not stand for tomorrow, and never in my life. But how can we trace these campaigns behind Galamsey? One of the way is picking these excavators. When you pick the excavator, you can get the chassis number, trace to get the owner.
Sure.
Another way is that now government want to control the buying of gold. That is why I said last week, I said it, when you have the gold board, you only sell to the gold board. So if you are selling to the government can trace to where you are getting your gold. It's another way. Because all these campaigns under Galamsey, their main aim is to get the good oil, and when they get them, their aim is to sell. And now government want to regulate the buying and selling of gold in the country. So if you are able to regulate the buying and selling of gold, when you are selling to us, we need to know where you are getting it from. Your source will help us to know. You can even get to a point tell you, if those buying directly from Galamsey, we are not buying your gold.
Peter, I get this measure you are saying, but I was expecting your government to come in with an entirely robustic new approach to this. This is just like recycling the whole whole system.
Do you know one thing? Last year, during the campaign era, both parties, the MPP and DC, were very, very afraid to touch this Galamsey issue, because they were all thinking if they touch this Galamsey issue, it might affect them in the election, just in the election. Peter cannot deny this, and I can also do not deny this. We are hearing people we are all afraid to touch this Galamsey issue, because we all felt a bit affecting in the election. The president came out that all candidates should sign a pact that when they win the election, whether MPP, whether NDC, whether PNC, APC, you can call whoever wins should stop Galamsey. Organized labor came out with a let me say statement that if the president does not declare a state of emergency, they will go on strike. Because this Galamsey issue, we have people like Professor Jampo supporting that call. Even the current president was also supporting that call. Now you're in power. Galamsey is still going on. Recently, I heard they've seized about some excavators in Anria at the Hafuano area there.
10 excavators.
So if it's about seizing, then you're not doing anything now. For me, what I think the president should do now was what the organized labor were telling the former president to do. It should also call for a state of emergency. Whoever is mining, because right now we are going to have a good board. So now whoever is mining, every company, whoever should stop. After the establishment of the good board, they can now control. And then he was saying through the good board, they will know the source of where people get their good. Maybe me, I'm here. I don't know. You don't even know me. Maybe my grandmother has let me good. My great grandparents have let me good under their bed, and it's there. You don't even know. And then last week he was saying they will support private investors to go and buy the good. These private investors, when they come, I don't think they'll come and tell you where they got their good. They will say they've gotten the good. They come to sell to the government. I don't think they will come and tell you that we got the good from this man, this person, this person. They'll just come. We got the
do their business.
They do with the government and go. So the government should come up with policies. With clear cut policy. That's going to.
What are some of the policies you think
for now? for now,
there should be a state of emergency.
Galamsey.
Okay. Whether
everybody should stop Galamsey.
Okay.
Let's halt the mining. Whether you have license or not, let's stop mining.
Okay.
Then after the gold board, you come up with a clear policy.
But with that also, you see, one of the things I'm coming.
Are we doing Galamsey? No. They are doing illegal. There's a difference between Galamsey and illegal mining.
Okay.
So when we talk about Galamsey, in the pre-colonial times, our great grandparents who were living around Akotia or Boase were just gathering gold around their houses, even at their farms. When they gather these gold pieces, they gather them, they sell it to the gold buyers. That's what we are calling gather and sell. In Galamsey, no, I'm coming. In Galamsey, we are not using excavators. We were using small tools like the cutlass, the hoe, those things together. But now what you are doing,
we all know that.
What you are doing now,
even Galamsey,
is illegal mining.
Illegal mining. So, Galamsey, because the last demonstration they did, it was Galam stop. They didn't do it like illegal stop or illegal mining stop. It was Galam stop.
So the issue is
just Galam stop. So right now we've given it a name. We've given it a name, and that name has come to stay.
Okay.
So the issue is that the government should come out to declare state of emergency.
See, one thing about the state
last 2 weeks.
One thing about the state of emergency issue is this: gold is one of our biggest revenue earners. If we should put a halt on that, look at how it's going to affect us.
So then why then was the former president also encouraging that call from the organized labor? The former president, the current president, was supporting that call. Professors who call themselves neutrals, like for example, we're all supporting this.
Let's look at a company like Newmont.
Yes.
Have we had Newmont involved in any illegal action when it comes to mining? We haven't. But we've had Akwanta mining.
Yes.
Who is the owner of Akwanta mining? Why can't we arrest the owner of Akwanta mining? Are you getting me? Newmont hasn't ambushed any forest reserve to mine.
My brother, the problem here is that you can give people license to go and mine. It's like giving a driver's license. You go to the person to come for training, go through the process. I'm not saying those who do the go behind. Now the person will go through the legal means to acquire the license, but the driver can drive carelessly.
Yeah.
After going through all those training, then before getting the license, the person will still come on the street, on the road, and still drive carelessly.
Okay.
Yeah, it happens. People can go for license to come and mine Galamsey.
Okay.
We are this are a concession. Am I only here before you realize? Not maybe.
That's what I'm saying.
So we should just arrest them. Akwanta mining, when they were in opposition, they were mentioning names. People behind Akwanta mining. They were mentioning names. And Peter, my brother here, was, and I know you mentioned names there. You mentioned
now that they are in power. Why can't they go and
go and attack? Because you're saying you go for the kingpins, and then you know one kingpin about Akwanta mining. You know one kingpin. Even in the Anas, was it Anas or Manasi? Is it Manasi or Anas came out with that Charles Bishi, and then some people were behind this.
This man.
Professor
Educhum, his report.
From came out with people who were even where people who also came out with some videos. Including mentioning names about Charles Bishi and other people involved in mining. Kijinfo and other people. We heard their names. That they are all into illegal mining. They are all into illegal mining. See, so for now, you know them.
Mining thing, we are not paying critical attention to it, and it saddens me.
And now Emra Tutasari came out about the town. The people mining there now, the NDC are using vigilante to sack.
Oh, he came back.
He came back later on. Before he came back, that they've seized and settings. Because it didn't settings.
Settings.
After he came, so let's be honest. So we didn't know. So we have DC. We have this. So now for now we don't have a DC there.
Yes.
If otherwise an MC but we have we have an MP there.
Yes.
We have assembly members there. I don't think if mine is going on and it actually take to Asari to come in to bring it out.
Okay. No, that is the work of the media.
Yeah,
that's the fourth frame.
Yeah. So if he has been able to bring it out, and the best thing is that you seized it. You went there, people there, they ran away. So you're able to see. And then what happened at the Zimbabwe quiet? When they went there, they put fire into the champagne and they burnt all those things. They burnt the champagne and other things. If it's about burning and this, it's still about colonization. What the people are doing the same thing. The same thing. There's nothing that's changed.
See, Peter, let's look here.
Do you know one thing? If you move to a site, you will never know the campaign for the first time you enter.
See, no campaign is even on site.
Yes. So what I'm saying is, if you move to site, you arrest people, you pick materials. After picking the materials, you get to know that if you pick the excavator, you get to know who owns the excavator. After moving to the one who owns it, that person will lead you to the one who came in. Most of these people
that should be very easy because you know one thing.
Very easy.
You know one thing. People have been arrested by the previous government.
Yeah.
With this Galamsey issue, people, and then you said when they come, you release them because they're not the kingpins. Those people who are arrested, even if you go to them now, they can mention to you that this is my boss.
Exactly.
This is the one in charge of this process. What you are doing here. So even this is you have a bigger platform to even arrest them because we have people in prison now.
July, by the end of July. You hear more news about this guy.
Are you sure?
And I don't
we don't have that much time.
I don't want that time will come. Paul, come and sit here. This is rich hunting.
It's not about rich. As I'm saying, I'm a Ghanaian, and I believe in developing this nation.
Yeah.
When our water bodies get destroyed, it will affect me. It will affect my children. Because my whole back, said if things are not going on well, definitely it will affect me, and the next generation will also affect them. I have families. So we should think about the forestry and other things that we are destroying. We should think about it.
Sure.
Right now, we have people in prison.
Now, Chairman.
Right now. That's why we voted out. Party voted out. See how the campaign changed. We've been voted out. We weren't able to. Fine. As I said, we failed in the fight for Galamsey.
You failed.
Now you said you are going to arrest the kingpins.
In 3 months we are arrested.
We have people
in just 3 months in government.
We have people. Who have you arrested?
I don't.
We've arrested.
Who have you arrested? Who have you arrested? Which campaign
have you arrested?
Which campaign have you arrested? If can mention one.
That's why I was telling you when it comes to the issue about the campaign, you can't just use one day to arrest.
You have people in prison. You have people in prison because of this Galamsey.
Those people are not campaigns.
You can go to them. They will show you the campaigns. Those who are in prison now.
That is true.
That's what.
Our time is almost up, but let me use this scenario.
Yes.
We here, if there should be an ambush on us right now, you people are talking about Galamsey. I'm arresting you. Who is the host? Okay. I am the host. I am not the owner of this entity.
Yes.
So, if they want to shut us up, what they need to do is to closing down this entity. If they should arrest me, my owner will hire a new host, and he will also come and do the same thing.
Yes.
So is it not a recycle of the same?
I mean, for now, those in prison, I think if you're in prison, me for instance, if I'm in prison and I'm suffering, I want to be released.
Yeah.
If you come to me and then ask of the campaign,
so that
I release you. You think freedom, getting your freedom. Everybody, freedom. Having freedom, man.
They said the people are still in prison.
So we haven't heard anything about amnesty. You haven't heard anything. We haven't heard anything.
But what I'm saying, your president said that if he comes, he'll give amnesty to those people.
Yes.
And has he?
Yes.
Has he?
We have time that we do that. I think doing public like the 6 months, sometimes they do some pardon and other. They have some important.
Was it done? This
I've never heard anything.
And the people are still in prison suffering. What the campaigns are ruming about still mining.
If you know those things, you were in power, you didn't do it. So keep quiet.
We are out now.
That's why we voted them out.
That's why I say keep quiet.
No, I'll keep quiet. I can't keep quiet.
When you were in opposition, you never kept quiet.
I can't keep quiet. I can't keep quiet.
We did our best when we were in power.
When the opposition, they made a press conference around River Pra.
You people should also begin to do these things.
No, but waters are getting clean.
No, listen.
Where?
The waters are getting clean.
Hey,
Where?
Around here.
Listen, I didn't say the waters are. It is getting clean.
Where? I'm only asking.
Me, I know.
Offin River is clean now.
Which offense? Which of the offense?
Offin.
Which of the offense?
We have a name of Offin, but you are different.
Do you know the research I did this done?
We shouldn't say this.
To make sure I get my facts right.
Boss,
none of these waters you are talking about is clean.
But it is getting better.
Brim River. I recently, you know, I'm from.
No, purification doesn't take a day.
You know,
when I said that MPP mind talking this way, I'm very surprised.
Why?
Somebody is in government just less than 100 days.
It doesn't.
And the person is doing well.
And you have a pressing issue. And you have a pressing issue.
That is why within the less than 100 days, we've arrested people. We are tracing the owners of these excavators.
How long does it take to trace this?
And even how about those in prison?
I can use 24 hours to get a.
These guys arrested people. They pick what do you call it? These cars, and in 3 days, all these cars and they flew away.
We've been given the
That's why they're out of power.
We've been given the
That is why
You are in power now. We want to see pragmatic measures.
We saw the Minister of Lands and Natural Resources in the Santa region, plus the Southern Union Minister going around trying to get solutions. That is why we are mapping our forests.
We haven't seen any camping.
Let's be clear. We should be honest to ourselves. Those in prison.
Yes.
If we want to know those who are in prison because of clamsy, I think it will be easy for us to trace them.
Sure.
We can go to them.
Yeah.
Around here.
Why
the files because right now you're in prison, but the person has hired another person to do the illegal money for him. But so we should know that we can trace them easily. We can just allow them that.
But Omari, I will tell you, if you go to the Galamsey site, less than 1% of the workers there knows the campaign behind. Because
it's not about.
So you just take me to my immediate boss. Your immediate boss. You also take.
Let's say you have like
I said by July.
I was working for Ghana.
Some investigations that we are doing. Do you know we have people doing the SY Kufuor government? Peter, when they wait, I'm coming.
I don't even want
when they get inside. Once you know people, I don't want to once you know people, why don't you go for them?
That's
I don't want to. I said by June, July.
By June, July. How?
By June, July. That is when you see the rain. When the rains are falling.
Okay. When the rains fall, when rain fall. I know my brother was not talking. When rain falls, most of our last year, we are also doing the same thing. That when the rains were falling, some of the water bodies start getting clean because when rain falls, it start washing away. So you saying by June, July, by June, July, we'll be in the rains will be. The rains will be. So he's saying by June, July, air settings. You know all this tactics, air settings. And arrest them now. You said you should know people.
What I'm telling by June, July, you will see people in the court. You will see people going to prison.
We've heard you, gentlemen. That's where we were.
No, seriously. But before we end, I want to thank Nana Akwesi Oseo.
Okay.
Who is the CEO of Nana Oseo Foundation?
Okay.
Nana is doing very well.
Okay.
As we are speaking, there's ongoing competition at the Krapi Mountains. Okay. That is the inter-schools soccer and athletics soccer competition.
Okay.
Nana is sponsoring the female soccer.
Wow.
Because Nana have passion for sports.
Wow.
And with that, with special passion for female too. Because he's seeing the investment into female sports is very less in the country. So Nana is sponsoring this competition.
Wow.
Currently going on in this school Ukwapemai. So thank you, Nana, for your good work.
Okay.
Ghana appreciate you.
Sure.
Krapi Zone appreciate you.
Sure.
And we know you are going to do more for the youth. And I know by 10th April, Nana is going to launch the foundation. Wow. I'll be very happy if Ghana Talk Radio will be there to take a coverage of the program.
Sure. Just give us an official invite.
Yes. It's either going to be at the British Council or the National Theatre.
Okay.
We are looking at any of the two.
All right.
We also want people to come on board to help the agenda. Okay. And do you know one thing? Nana was the immediate past what do you call it? Marketing manager for National Lottery Authority.
Wow.
And he's the person who introduced marketing into Ghana Lottery.
Oh.
So after his pension, he think there is a way for him to help his community, and he's giving back to the community. So now he have started a very nice project where he is sponsoring female soccer at the Kwapem Ridge as we speak. So we are asking people to come on board and work with us.
Now, Osi, wherever you are, we want to thank you for
also
your contribution to
Mr. Marie.
Yes, sir.
My final words. Let me say a good morning to Michael Osebwatin. Who's known as Pope, popularly known as Pope. Right now, the party, as part of the rebuilding and restructuring to recapture, we will need a youth organizer, a national youth organizer who is very pragmatic, who is very hardworking, who is a listener. And then, for now, we need someone like Pope to be in charge, to manage the youth wing of the party. And also my greetings to Commander Kwame Bekwem. He's the youth organizer for Wichabawi. He did very well. He helped his boss, his PC, to win to become an MP. So it's one of the few seats we've won in the dark, right? We've won we have some few seats that, and then they are like, by all means it belongs to us, so I will not go there. And also a good morning to Mamsa Poma, the CEO of Money Makeover. She's doing very well. People can just look for her on TikTok, Instagram, and other things. Mamsa Poma, a very big good morning to her, the CEO of Money Makeover and Beauty Parlor. Thank you very much.
So thank you, gentlemen, too, and thank you.
Before I leave, let me just greet my constituency chairman opposing Offenso South. I greet the entire executive of Offenso South. God richly bless them. What I will tell ND supported is that very soon the list of the DCs and the MCs will be coming out. Please, let's accept it. We are one party, we are one people. We should all come together and build a better NDC. I qualify to be an MC, but if I'm not now, it doesn't mean I cannot be one day. So what I say is, whatever person they bring on board, let's accept, let's all run behind the person, and let's help that person to help us achieve our agenda as a party. And I know 2028, with these leaders, NDC is going to be great.
NDC is going to be great. We wish you a great day as well as we end our conversations here. Stay tuned and enjoy the rest of our shows.
This GhanaTalks Radio, #1.
Hello Ghana, hello worldwide, I'm with level band. Now listen, every Tuesday and Friday, beyond the time it's going to carry bro. Our GhanaTalks Radio, 7 p.m. sharp. Now Tuesday, we're gonna talk about our culture, our history. My 20 things about Kwasem. Now on the Friday, you bars on bars. You better rap, you better say no artists go join me in the studio. We're gonna discuss about music and business. Kodia, or you singer, and now you rapper, you think say you get bars. You go be spit fire. Now listen, make you join me with studios. Our GhanaTalks Radio and yes say then our day. Me say download the GhanaTalks Radio app no our Play Store and the App Store. Na tune in yes say this what you see baba live on Facebook, go Instagram, any GhanaTalks Radio page and so now listen. E be your fire. 1 year, Kodia, Wading, Jajan.
GhanaTalks Radio wo UK abrochimemu era from Ghana mu ha the sound system me spinning machine papa free amana ne ababegu o Ghana mu ha enti se we ye a we engagement we wedding we birthday party political parties are more kind of event now wo spinning machine papa e boa sound no mu e de dia ene me kanfo GTR sounds e de emawo